Hey, this is the Antisocial Socialite back at it again. Shout out to all the wonderful new subscribers and returning friends. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, you have not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. So when I get to running this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. You see the title, you know what time it is. I was on YouTube a couple of days ago and I came across this video. It's to do with a lady talking about divestment and as everybody knows, let me turn this down, use my inside voice. Shout out to all the new subscribers and everyone who's been sharing the content. I really appreciate you. I came across this video of this lady talking about the divestment movement. And everybody knows that the divestment community is an interesting community of people. Just stick with people. And they have some strange views. I'm not going to say I hate on them, but it's teetering on the verge of being a hate group. It's a hate group, and I suppose that's not everybody. There's two kinds of divestor. There's divestors who understand what divestment was generally about, and there's divestors who have taken it to a whole nother level. Shout out to George in the building. It is Pick Me Monday, so if you are a pick me, celebrate yourself. This is the place where pick-me's are celebrated. When I listened to the video, I couldn't really get why I was no, I don't want to say triggered, but there was definitely a little something in there. So I played the video over and over again and I took a couple of notes, and I'm just going to go through the video with you. Ayil, male, Israelite. Afternoon, I'm in Britain as well. Yay! I know I'm very naughty going live at this kind of time because at the end of the day, I know in the States it's somewhere between like 5:30 and 8:30 in the morning. I know that's the bulk of the audience is from. So I really appreciate everybody from the West Indies, Canada, and the Americas, across America. But I was free this morning, and you guys can obviously catch it on the replay. Are you a new subscriber? Are you a new subscriber? So we can give you a little shout out, a little celebration. And I'm glad to hear you. It's good to see people coming in from all over. George says howdy from the States. Yeah, George is in the States. We had a nice conversation about pound cake. I'll never forget that conversation. Shout out to Dimitri in the building, one of the number one mods in the house. Yay! We have a new subscriber. So let me give you a little. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it's not a very long clip, but I want everybody to hear it first. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play it, and then we're going to play it, because she says a lot very quickly. I'm old, my brain can't keep up. So it's better if we just take it step by step. But first I'm going to play the thing through very quickly, and then afterwards I will let you guys, we're going to go through it, discuss. Okay, so fair use, as they say. Hopefully, let me know if you can't hear it. Mm-mm. Josh says there's no sound.
Divesting from all of that baggage, all of that responsibility. Of talking about divestment, interesting movement, but from what I can see of it, I want to talk about what I think needs to change about this movement. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'm going to tell you about my experience with divestment. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The concept of divestment is something new to me, but I realized that I divested when I was like a little kid. And I'm not trying to say like I'm the grandma or mama of divestment in any sense. I'm not trying to say that, but what I am trying to say is that when I was a little kid, I grew up around some really, really great women. But they were always working, working on so many different things and always fighting about things that were man related, okay? And not each other, but I just mean in general. Trying to get a man to act right, trying to get all of these things from men. And the first thing that I realized was like, that's not the life for me. In addition to this, they did not seem particularly happy. Like, there was no joy, it was always problems. There were always problems. There were always struggle. And I was like, this isn't the life for me. So in addition to these man related problems, there was an extreme amount of responsibility. And I don't just mean like they were holding the bag, they were going to work, they were paying bills, but the responsibility of everything and everyone. Often I would say to my mother, I wanted to move away. I didn't feel like I belonged where we were. And she's like, well, when grandma dies or big mama dies and granddaddy dies, and all of these people had to be dead for her to be able to be open to the idea of moving on. And I was like, well, I thought that was the worst thing I could ever hear. I gotta wait for everybody to be dead to live. Wasn't for me. So when I think about divestment, is divesting from all of that baggage, all of that responsibility, all of that crap that Black women are expected to carry for in exchange for the label of a strong Black woman. Not for me. Because what I found was that the stronger you were, the more they put on you. Now, that was all too much. And I wanted to be young and live. I wanted to go away. I wanted to do things. That was all too much for me. Like at a young age, I was like, yeah, I wanted to live before everyone else died. I wanted to be able to go places and to do the things. I didn't even know what those things were. So I didn't, in my head, I wasn't like, I'm divesting. I'm 10 years old. I'm divesting. No, I was just like, that's not for me. That whole thing is not for me. So the first thing I really thought about, because relationships were so big in, you know, in people's lives, was like, I don't want my relationship to be that big, to have to be so much more than just me. I wanted something more kind of balanced. And when I started dating, I didn't know how to translate that. I'm going to be honest, because it's all a trial and error of this life. So this was part of the evolution. But that aside, what I never did, regardless of who I was dating and the ethnicity that they were, was let them put that baggage on me. Because despite the fact that you might say I'm divested from Black men, you have to divest from the mentality that Black women are taught to have. Because you can carry that on with any ethnicity or person, and you still end up in the same sad sack situation. And that's not how I am interested in living at all. So I don't really come on this channel, and I don't really want to talk about tons and tons and tons about relationships. But I understand, hey, for me, it's more than my life is more than that. My life is not focused around the man in whom I'm dating or married or whatever the case may be. My life is so much broader than those things. And I think that was another thing in my, growing up, I had to really separate. And it's hard, like, like when you're living, like, I don't want to do all that. But then you get in the patterns because you've only seen certain things. And, you think struggle love is the way that you build together and you come out on top and, we were at the bottom and now we're here type of BS. Like, no. That's just, that's surrounding the male ego. And I had to divest from all of those things, because I could still do that with somebody else, can't I? If that mentality is still there. But that's the thing that I think the divestment movement is missing in some of the rhetoric that I've heard, and what I think Black women really need to do, and how we need to think about ourselves and putting ourselves forward and finding the best partners, the best lives, the best existence that we can have, because it's hard for us, right? All right, y'all. Those are my thoughts, and I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I think sometimes you spark little things, and I always get some really crappy comments from Black men on my videos about these kind of topics. I just posted a video about some commentary, but I think it's important for us to think differently, and that's why I started this channel, to show how my thought process has changed my life and changed over time and keeps changing. So thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel, and ciao for now. Speaking of talking about.
Right, so you heard the video. I wanted to play it fully once because it was just a lot. And that way you guys can engage in the conversation a bit better because you've kind of seen it beforehand. All right. So I was going to play it slow. But it's too long. It's only 7 minutes, but it felt a little bit like 7 hours. So let's just quickly run through what I jotted down. Okay. So we're going to do like a play by play, and you guys obviously can chime in. Shout out to Bringing Clarity to Confusion. V-Dub Boogie in the house. I really appreciate everybody who's come through. Okay, so let's go through now. You guys have heard it.
I want to talk about what I think needs to change about this movement. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to tell you about my experience with divestment.
I'm going to hit the music
I'm
again.
going to be honest with you. The concept of divestment is something new to me, but I realized that I divested when I was like a little kid. And I'm not trying to say like I'm the grandma or mama of divestment in any sense. I'm not trying to say that. But what I am trying to say is that when I was a little kid, I grew up around some really, really great women.
Okay, so the first thing that kind of got me was this idea that she was surrounded by great women. I mean, what exactly is a great woman, and why did she feel the need to add that statement in right at the beginning of the video? A lot of the time, and we're going to see this as you've seen throughout the video already, that there's always this need to protect Black women from any form of criticism. And it kind of felt strange that right at the beginning of the video, when you haven't actually said anything. I mean, this is a video supposedly about divesting from Black men or the Black community, while you had to go and start out by saying you were surrounded by great women. I mean, great in whose eyes? I'm not saying that Black women are not great, or that amongst Black women there aren't great women, but I'm like, according to whose standards? Like, define great for me. Is it great because they've done something exceptional? Is it that they're great because of their accomplishments? Are they great people? Or are we talking about from a sexual marketplace value? Are they great in the eyes of a partner? Because being a great employee or being a great friend doesn't necessarily make you a great parent or a great partner. I mean, they're completely mutually exclusive realms. And so the fact that you as a child are saying that these women are great, it would be interesting for you to tell us what exactly made them so great, and why you felt the need to start the video out by saying, I was surrounded by great women. Now, we know in the modern era, and especially in the Black community, Black women pride themselves quite heavily on their academic and their career accomplishments. And so a woman could have maybe a shady character or something like this, but as long as she seems to be doing very well financially, or she's got a good education, or she's got her degree or something, a lot of women will flock to her as a great person. this kind of sets women up for a little bit of failure, because they feel like, because I'm doing well in this area of my life, or I've accomplished something in this area of my life, I should automatically get a pass on any other area of my life where I'm failing. And that just doesn't work. So it just was strange that she started out the conversation with, I'm surrounded by great women, even though I'm not really sure what that means. It says, we can state our worth. Of course, we have to have self-confidence. We have to have good self-esteem and good self, sense of awareness. But we can't compare one aspect of our life to another. Just because you're good at your job doesn't mean you're good at something else. And unfortunately, this is part of the echo chamber that keeps a lot of Black women in a compromised position. Okay, so that was like the first thing that I noticed about why she felt the need to praise Black women right off the bat.
But they were always working on so many different things, and always fighting about things that were man related. Okay,
so now we understand why she had to start out the sentence, because she's about to criticize Black women. But because she cannot, we have the girl code, we have the sisterhood code, we have the you have to protect all Black women at all costs code. You can never just come out and say, this is a gripe I have with a Black woman or Black women or Big Mama or anything like that, because it's deemed as, going against the code, going off code or something like this. And so she wants to say something critical about the way her parent was, her mother, which is, my mother was always working and she wasn't there for me. There were a number of things I felt within my childhood were missing. But I just want you to know she was great. So the fact that she said I divested at 10, it begs the question, what did you see in those first 10 years of your life that by the tender age of 10, you already felt like this is not the life I want? You see, a lot of the times we talk about what adults are doing, but these mentalities or this dysfunctional behavior is ingrained at a very young age. And we often think, well, I don't know about everybody else, but, sometimes we take it for granted that because children don't know as much as maybe an adult knows, like they don't know anything at all, but they can't necessarily articulate what they're experiencing, but they understand when something is not right. They're taking it in. Maybe it kind of comes together as an adult, like everybody look back on something and they're like, oh, is that what that meant? Oh, is that what that was? It felt wrong, but I didn't know what it was. So her reflecting now as an adult, she understands fully what she felt as a 10-year-old. Okay, so it's like she said, I divested at 10 years of age, but she wasn't really aware of what the problem was, but she knew that there was some dysfunction in her family dynamic.
And not each other, but I just mean in general.
I don't understand what that means. I don't that she's like, they were always working, always fighting, not with each other in general. So are you saying you had an environment where people were constantly fighting? Because what does in general fighting mean? Like in every area of your life, there was just struggle? I don't know. But when she says there was always fighting, does she want to say that her mother was fighting with her partner or what? But sometimes she this lady, the video was interesting. I liked it at first. The more I listened to it, the more I kind of became maybe a little bit picky, but she left so many ends open, it becomes kind of difficult to understand what she's trying to say, because I feel like because it's the whole, we have to protect black women, she can't really come out and just say the real problem. So shout out to Big Cheese in the building and Celine. Miss Fredima. George says, my issue with the good divestors is that they don't challenge the nasty divestors. It's like good cops who don't challenge the bad ones. How are they if they don't challenge the bad? How are they good if they don't challenge the bad ones? And I think that's what this video originally was supposed to do. But we'll get into some comments later, and it's kind of like, shout out to Dimitri, enjoy your class. I know a lot of black women, they're cool. There are. It's just a lot of them, like you said, they're not speaking up. George said, have a good day. I hope not too much of it, just a little, Big Cheese. Divestors act like white women don't work and they have a personal assistant, and white women complain about loser white dudes just the same. So, a very good question. What happened at the age of 10? It's just at 10, you're already like, this is not the life for me. So for Celine is she's not as brown as us. But we love her just the same. So she's not familiar with this concept. But Celine asks, what is, and no, Celine does not look like Baby Yoda, but she does definitely love Baby Yoda. And I heard about Baby Yoda, and then I saw The Mandalorian, and I was like, oh, now I understand. Because he's definitely much cuter when he's in his little hovering crib. I'm not going to lie. I really, Baby Yoda is hella cute. All right. So, so a divestor is a person who, the divestors are supposed to be leaving the Black community behind. Okay. That's what this lady is trying to say, that the divesting movement was supposed to be leaving all dysfunction in the Black community behind. But what she doesn't want to openly come out and say is a section, if not, the majority, if I don't know, because I'm not part of the divestment community. But what I see at the forefront is male hatred. It's the divestors in particular who are very vocal about, disrespecting Black men. I've heard divestors saying that, you've got this guy on the internet trying to tell us what to do, and I bet he's got a dookie in his underpants. I mean, these are women with children. They talk about the fact that they have kids, even sons, but this is how they talk about random men on the internet. They joke about, if men have been for example, killed by the police or something, or every so often, at whatever rate it is, a Black man dies, they're like, well, we need to do something to get the rate up. So either shorten the time or increase the deaths. These are the kind of things they say. It's the divestors who are really open and vocal about, wanting to see the death of Black men and like the abortion of Black boys and things like that. And so when she says that I've seen some things in the divestment community, she's talking about that hate group aspect of the divestment community, where it's like we just have like this intense hatred for Black men. But a lot of them will say, we want Black women to leave Black women alone who are caping for the Black community as well. When you divest, you turn your back on everyone, Black women, Black men, Black children, the Black community in its entirety. And if there was no hate in there, it wouldn't be so bad. But it's vitriol. It's intense, like glorifying over the deaths of Black men and things like this. But she doesn't come out and say it. And to George's point, it's like the good divestors do not speak out against the bad ones. But even when they do, they don't just come right out and say what the problem is. Because you can see this video is heavily edited. There's a lot of cuts. So either she got, rambly, or she said something and she felt like, oh, I need to take this out. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to be excommunicated from the divestment community. Or she's like, I don't want to make it obvious what the problems are. But for anyone who's kind of, you hear people talking about certain content creators, not as much as Cynthia G's or something like this, but some of the other ones, they go in, they really go in. And when you hear Black men complaining about some of these content creators, it's those kind of women in particular who they're really going against. This I don't know if I would say it's a subset. I don't know what percentage of the divestors are like this, but I know the ones who are very vocal, they mean it. When they say we wouldn't mind if Black men were killed on site and, we don't even want them to be born. I mean, I've seen channels called Stop Giving Birth to Your Enemy. That's how deep they take it. They mean it. So Dimitri says it's basically investing into the Black community or Black men. But if Black people don't invest in Black boys, then how will things change? See the problem? I mean, the thing is, they don't really care about the Black community. They don't. Sinji needs to reveal her hair. If she's got any. Those women are sick. They're sick and they're really vile. They're really vile. There is toning they can say. They can say there's nothing that they can say that will surprise me. Yeah, at this point, if you've probably pretty much heard it all, but they definitely, they're ill. But this lady's supposed to be one of the good ones. So let's hear. So what did she say? That her mother was always working, they were always fighting, and it wasn't into each other, it was just in general. But again, what does that even mean? So were they constantly complaining, or were they constantly fighting? Like, why are you bringing these adult problems to a child under 10 in the first place, or having them in an environment where they saw these things? I don't know. Ayil says, Cynthia G is a hypocrite. This is black men for being with white women, but wears white women's weave. And I thought you was going to say she's a hypocrite because she's built an entire platform talking about alleged dusties, but then allegedly has relations with men who she claims, you know, is apparently at least a serial baby daddy. No matter how much she wants to say he's a good father, it doesn't change the fact that this is a man who has multiple children with multiple women. I don't believe that he can really be there for them all the time. And even if he personally can, that's still not an example and a standard that we want to promote and set in the black community, because it just doesn't work. Okay, he might have the resources to be able to manage multiple children with multiple women and have them all working together in a cohesive way. But most people don't have that. So we don't want to promote that as a culture. And I'm sure if it wasn't her alleged baby daddy, she would be calling him a broke dusty and a serial baby maker and things like that. But because she likes him, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter that he's all those things. So Dimitri corrected himself. He said, I meant to say, don't invest. Yeah. And V-Dub changed it to nothing. Yeah. I call Cynthia G Cynthia H because she's a hypocrite. And it just is what it is. I've done so many videos on these ladies. I just feel like it's a big money making scam. And because they saw an opportunity to basically make money on the vulnerability and the anger and the hatred of a lot of black women, they've kind of gone down that rabbit hole. So whatever they say or do at this point, I'm not, I like, was it V-Dub? I'm not surprised at this point. Okay, so she says,
you get all of these things from men. And the first thing that I realized was like, that's not the life for me. In addition to that, I realized was like, that's not the life. A man to act right, trying to get all of these things from men. And the first thing
okay, so
a man to act right, trying to
I started to get into a little bit of a dilemma with this video, because at one point I really wanted to do it. Then the more I listened, the more I thought, you know what, just don't say anything, because just let these people be, God damn it. The fact that she came out and said, the older women in my family were trying to get the men to act right. So I was like, okay, so what does that actually mean? Do you mean that they were doing something, but you didn't like it, like they were oppressive or they were controlling, and you were like, why can't you just be more chilled? Or was it these men were just workless, they were useless, they were just no good? I haven't got a better word for it. Like they were more of a liability than they were an asset. In which case, why do you have them around if you have to baby them and walk behind them every 5 seconds trying to get them, quote unquote, acting right? Like, and that's why I titled the video the way I did, because a lot of women go on as if to say the reason they had to divest was because of black men. But you're not in a country where you wake up, you know, and you go to the market with a cow, and then you find out that you've gone to bring the cow as some type of gift to your husband that you're about to be forced into marriage with. You literally have the choice to date whichever man you want, and to also get rid of him when you realize this relationship is not working. So at that point, you are no longer a victim. You are volunteering to be in that situation. You see, I was going to stay on Amber, right? I was going to keep it neutral. But then when I listened to this video more and more, I was just like, I don't understand. Like, should I get my little violin out? Because you signed up for this. You're in struggle, love, because you want to be. And why are you trying to get a grown adult person to act right when you can just act them out of the door, just open the door and push them out. It's just like I literally began to lose it a little bit, because we're only 1 minute and 22 seconds in, and I'm already like, I don't think I can do this without insulting your parents. And let's just continue. Let's just leave it.
All of these things from men. And the first thing that I realized was like, that's not the life for me. In addition to this, they did not seem particularly happy. Like, there was no joy. It was always problems. There were always problems. There were always struggle. And I was like, this isn't the life for me. So
okay, so she says these women were not particularly happy. They had no joy, and there was always struggle. And I'm just like, okay, because your parents signed up for the struggle. The women in your family, in your circle, signed up for the struggle. Okay, they were struggling because they were with men who either could not or would not do what they had to do for you. It's that simple. And so everybody's heard of this this thing called Pavlov's dog. Pavlov was a psychologist, and he wanted to talk about this concept known as conditioning, how when you associate one thing with another, over time, even if they're unrelated, they can elicit the same response in a person. So he had a dog, and he would bring a plate of food and at the same time ring a bell. And every time he rang the bell, he presented the dog with some food, and the dog began to salivate. You could, visibly see saliva starting to come down the dog's mouth because they were anticipating food. And then after a while, when he would ring the bell, even if the dog didn't see the food, the dog would begin to salivate. And so when this lady keeps on repeating, this is not the life for me, this is not the life for me, the example her parents and the women around her, the older generation, has set, has made her believe that being with a Black man automatically equates to struggle. So when you see me and a lot of other people trying to get through to Black women about Black men, it's not about caping for Black men. It's trying to make Black women, or women who feel like this, recognize, I understand why you feel like this, but you have to understand you have this mentality because you were set a bad example. And somewhere in your subconscious mind, you were made to believe that a Black man equals struggle. Like, it's synonymous, it's guaranteed. This is why you see a lot of Black women, they'll say, when you get with a Black man, your income goes down. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm not for cohabitation, I don't promote it, I don't encourage it. But say, for example, you are with a Black man, you cohabit, you're dating, or even you're married. If you have an income and he has an income, is that not two incomes? How can you have two incomes, but your income go down? That does not make any sense. Even if your expenditure goes up, so has your income, because the two of you are in theory making money. Even if the man makes less money than you, if he covers the cost of living, you have more free money in your pocket because you don't have to pay for bills. This is why people laugh, like, how can you complain about going 50-50 when before you were paying 100% of the bills? And so what this shows us is these women are dating broke men. You're dating men who either can't spend money or won't spend money. So it's not about the Black man is broke, or the Black man is poor, or the Black man can't compete, or he hasn't built Wakanda. It's just, you're picking broke men. You're picking cheap men. You're picking men who can't or won't do anything for you. It's not that all Black men or the collective of Black men are bad. There are, bad or non-productive men across every race. But for some reason, you are volunteering to be in a relationship with ones who are brown. So I've got to calm down. Let me open the window. But I'm just like, why are you making out as if the problem is the man? With all due respect, if you ever see this video, which you might, because I left a comment, I don't want to disrespect the older women in your family, but they signed up for this struggle. And it's not the Black man's fault. But I understand, like, this experience has traumatized a lot of Black women. Seeing this struggle and equating a Black man with a lifestyle which is full of problems, it elicits a certain amount of fear. So in some respects, I'm sympathetic, but that's why these women get so much pushback, because the problem is not all black men. It's unfortunately the trauma that these women subject themselves to because of the type of men they choose. And that's across the board, whether it's black, white. If you keep getting into these dysfunctional situations, you are going to wound yourself in a way that you're going to find it hard to come back from, because you feel afraid of being hurt again in the future. So I just wanted to really make that clear. She's justifying adult women trying to fix or get adult men to act right. But why are you with that man in the first place? Is it because this is the only kind of man you can attract? Or is it because it's familiar? Or is it because that's what you personally have an imprint for? Maybe all your relationships and even the relationships you had with your own parents were dysfunctional like this. And as much as you know it's dysfunctional, it's familiar, so you gravitate towards it. Okay? A lot of times we hear black women talking about black men want us to save the community. No one is asking you to save adult men. Black men are just saying, please stop breaking your sons, and please stop dating these degenerate men. Go and date decent black men who actually want to take care of you, and they have the ability to do that. Okay? So I was rambling. I wasn't looking because I know Rodney, is it? Oh, Rodney P. Her alleged her alleged baby daddy ain't dusty or bummy. He's a truck driver. Truck drivers make a fortune during the whole I think he says, is it the pandemic? Yeah, they do. Truck drivers do make a lot of money. That's true. The profession is great, but in terms of, can you substitute being an active father in all of the lives of your children with money? No. At the end of the day, they need time with their father. And I understand even if it was a marriage and he was a truck driver, he wouldn't be around that much. It does cause a lot of problems. But I feel like if you have multiple children with multiple women, you have to spread yourself out even thinner, which means the children will probably suffer even more. Now, he said he's got a great relationship with all of the mothers. They all get along. He has the ability to influence all his children. It'd be interesting to know what ages they are, because if they're very young, it's not hard to influence them. But as they start to get older and maybe get into their teenage years, then I don't know. Can he still control them if he's not cracking the whip on them every single day? Maybe he can take custody. I don't know. But I don't know. She sort of reminds me of the individuals who wouldn't dare burn a cross or use a slur. However, she still parrots Fox News talking points. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about these whole, shout out to Red Pill Awareness in the building. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, please subscribe. And if you guys are content creators, feel free to drop your link in the comment section. If it's not working, come back at the end of the video and please pop it in the comments so people can find you. Ayil says, one reason rapper Big Daddy Kane is a hip-hop legend is because his dad was a truck driver. Yeah, I know. Truck drivers make good money. But at the end of the day, we're not just talking about the financial support. Shout out to Corrine in the building. Morning, everyone. It's a Maniac Monday. It's all kinds of Mondays, darling. It's all kinds of Monday. Monday Mayhem definitely in the building. Israelite. Yeah. Hebrew Israelite in the house. Bye, Corinne. I didn't. That's, you know what? I wasn't going to show the footage just because of that reason, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I should zoom it. What should I do? Should I show it? Should I not show it? It's like, unless you want a whole headshot, you can't really miss the fact that she's got like this little baby doll dress, and I should have highlighted that on the screen. I should have just. Corinne is out of control, but I love her. George, do not encourage this bad behavior. So AO asks, Martin from England, Corinne. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Complex in the building. Again, if you guys are content creators and you have links, please throw it in the... Corinne, leave that woman's chest alone. God damn it. Everybody hit the like button for real, for real. I mean, really, have any of these divestors seen the women's rights marches from years back? Have they even read about the stories? Grown white men attacked white women marching for rights. Exactly. And to be honest with you, white women didn't really want black women in the civil rights movement. It was for them. It wasn't really for all women. But, you know, to bolster the numbers, and I understand that when black men couldn't work, let's take it to the States, when black men couldn't work and women were the only ones really getting hired, I can understand why they felt like they had to create a movement, because they were being marginalized as black people. They were not being really respected as black people, and as women, they kind of were double minorities. But now that's kind of been abused and exploited when it's not the same. This whole black woman is the most disrespected. It's become a little bit of a joke, because unfortunately there's nothing that black women have access to now. I mean, let me say it like this. There's things that women of other races would kill for to have what Western black women have now. And so to continue on this notion that black women are the most unprotected and disrespected, it's kind of like a disrespect to the women around the world who really do need rights. They really do need protection. In Brazil, in South Africa, in parts of Asia, where like women's bodies are being found in the street, like, you crying over colorism is kind of not on the same scale. I understand like first world problems, but no, it's not the same thing. So even when you go back in time, what the white women were going through, black women were not even going through it at the hands of their own men. But they jumped on this bandwagon and they kind of embraced it so wholeheartedly, they've literally destroyed themselves. So shout out to every other racer in the building. Every other race, XYZ says facts. Shout out to Rebecca, UK crew in the house. You caught me live, darling. You caught me live and alive, just about. Going to that place where I pretend to do work is killing me. I've seen you about in the Black Pill sector. Yeah, so subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Oh my God, you guys are out of control. I'm not even going to read that one. Shout out to New in the building. I can't take you guys anywhere. Oh my God. See, Ayil says the dress is fine. He likes it. Loving the dress. Shut up. You guys have the link right there. Please subscribe if you like IT, if you like tech, if you want to talk about current affairs, politics. The Black Brain Trust is for you. If you're one of those people who's always complaining that all the manosphere does is talk about women, this is the platform for you guys. So please subscribe to Complex Design and also the Black Brain Trust channel. You see, they're loving the flapjacks out here. The flapjacks be the one. Shout out to New. Central America. I mean, in Brazil, there are women being mutilated. You know, gang members are approaching them in the streets in parts of South America, you know, trying to coerce them to run drugs or do different things. And when they refuse, they're being executed and their bodies are being found in the streets. So to complain about, oh, you know, this person doesn't like me because my hair's a little bit coarse, or maybe my complexion's a little bit too dark, it's completely out of perspective when you think about, and some of these are melanated women or women of color, whatever you want to call it, around the world. Like, why don't you travel, get out of your bubble and go and see people who are actually suffering? The real Black women who are struggling from day to day. You know, they don't have a struggle between, should I get a Fendi or a Gucci? They're like, should I eat, or should I like sell one of my kids? Like, I'm not even going to get on the whole SJW bandwagon, because, you know, that's garbage. But just be mindful. Instead of complaining all the time, kind of think about what you actually have. You know, gratitude goes a long way. It does make you feel better. And a lot of these women, they've made a lot of money just complaining all the time. And It's not good for anyone's health, including their own. When Malcolm X spoke about Black women being disrespected, he was talking about our great grandmother's generation, not the modern generation of Black women today. Exactly. But and they don't even quote the whole quote. I can't remember how it goes, but there's additional bits in there that they don't want to acknowledge, but it's not applicable to today. She looks like she has a nice set of teeth. You guys are funny. Shout out to those teeth. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. She loves my dirty drawers. But you can't have dirty drawers if you don't wear any new, remember? I like teeth on a woman as well. Big homie new in the... Shout out to Dimitri. For all of you guys who are Gen Z, head over to Dimitri. This is a topic he's been covering quite a lot as well. I might actually link his video because it was just great minds thinking alike. He recently did another video on the concept of divestment and his observation of the women in that sector. Kazama Fury is in the building. If you like retro gaming, vintage gaming, check out his channel. He would do well to link up maybe with Soul Provider, and they can compare notes over games. I think Black Brazilian women are the best looking Black women on earth, in my opinion. No, man, West Indies and Africa. What do you mean, man? How you mean? You're blocked, man. What do you mean? I'm joking. I always say it's important to have basic orthodontic observation biannually scheduled. Oh my God, don't look at my teeth then, bro. Anyway, shout out to Bronzebird. Bronzebird, drop your link in the chat. He's done some awesome commentaries recently. I really enjoy his Bronzebird powwow. So subscribe, click the notification so when he's going live next, you can be a part of the discussion. No draws. Oh, I thought you was inviting me. I was going to say, you're blocked as well. No draws, easy access. Goodbye, Nu. Goodbye. You guys are a mess, but I love it. Where are we now? Okay, so we got to the bottom. So where's this lady? And I'm not going to mention the flapjacks again. I'm not.
In addition to these man-related problems, there was an extreme amount of responsibility. And I don't just mean like they were holding the bag, they were going to work, they were paying bills, but the responsibility of everything and everyone. Often I would say to my mother, I wanted to move away. I didn't feel like I belonged where we were. And she's like, oh, well, when grandma dies, or big mama dies, and granddaddy dies, and all of these people had to be dead for her to be able to be open.
Okay, so a long time ago, I came across a video. It just popped up in my timeline, and it's super interesting. It was called The Black Superwoman. He said, I'll be good. I might still block you, Justin. No, I'm joking. I could never block George. Never, ever. I say that because a lot of Black Brazilian women have natural hair and great body language. Yeah, they definitely have some body language. When they do that salsa, those hips be talking. Those hips are not lying. I'm joking. Bronzebird, we have a UK Swami on the panel. I'm on right now. You guys are jokers. Okay, it's called the Black Superwoman Syndrome, right? And so I did a whole video on it, so you guys can scroll through. It's quite old. And it's like obligation to present an image of strength, obligation to suppress emotion, resist vulnerability or help others, or help from others, motivation to succeed against the odds, and putting others before oneself. Okay, so this is what a lot of Black women are put in the position of having to deal with. Okay, she said, it wasn't just the man-related problems that were voluntary. Okay, it was the fact that her mother laden her with a lot of burdens, the burden to care for the generation of people behind. The scripture says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Another scripture says, mother is good, father is good, but blessed is the child that has his own. And with all due respect, we love our parents, we care about our parents, but in this day and age, we are not our parents' retirement plan. I know that sounds harsh, but they had their time to build wealth. They had their time to work. to save, to put a little bit aside for that rainy day, which is called old age. Now, in times gone by, people kind of inherited, because their parents maybe would have passed away when they were in their 30s, maybe 40s or 50s. At that point, your children maybe would have been small to in teenage years. You would have inherited resources, but you didn't have the responsibility of caring for aging parents. And so you got, I'm not going to say a double blessing, because obviously nobody wants to lose their parents, but with not having the physical responsibility of maintaining your parents and getting these resources, you were able to channel that into making your children's lives easier. It was a way to leave maybe a deposit for a property, buy them a car, pay off their student loan, or at least contribute towards it. You weren't sandwiched in the middle of two generations of people dependent upon you. So when she says, I felt this pressure, my parents were going to work, paying bills. Well, I mean, that's what you do as an adult. But what she's really talking about is the fact that the generations of people before her, the women before her, were putting upon her the responsibility of caring for us. There's a difference between showing your parents love and respect and helping them out, and if they ask you for something, you give it to them, versus them literally birthing you for the purpose of, when you become of age, I'm going to live off you like a parasite. And that sounds really harsh. I understand why she's like, because I did take a note, she's like, divest from the baggage. So the baggage that, some of these divestors, or a lot of these divestors, feel was not placed on them by men. It was placed on them by other women who told them, this is how you have to be. You have to care for everybody, spread yourself thin. Again, if you were in a relationship with a man who actually could care for you, that load would have been lifted. He could have helped you cut your working hours so you could dedicate more time to the needs of your children and your family. But the fact that you have a partner who is more of a liability than an asset, you have ended up, you have to work. At the beginning of the video, she said they were always working. Well, now we understand why she was always working, because as soon as she gets paid, she's got to help her mother with the rent, help her father with this, go and pay for this person. She's got a child that needs whatever children need, food, clothing, school trips. And then you've got like a man on the couch who spends all day, playing PlayStation and eating Fruit Loops. It's like, well, what did you expect? She doesn't work all the time because she wants to. It's because she thinks she's some type of superwoman saving everybody. And then she passes down that mentality onto the next generation of women, which is why you have so many Black women who don't know how to date, which she's going to go into. They don't know how to relate. They don't know how to be anything but strong and independent. They don't know how to let somebody else take charge or be vulnerable or follow, because from a very early age, all this kind of responsibility and pressure is kind of thrust on them. Now, I'm not making whole excuses, but I'm definitely saying there's a culture that conditions Black women to think a certain way, which ultimately makes them, to a degree, undateable. Let me go back up because I see a lot of people coming through. I really appreciate everybody. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Where we at? New is laughing. I'm sorry, I'll be good. Oh yeah, I got to that one already. Where are we? I hate weave. I like natural hair. Yeah, if you know how to style natural hair, it can be gorgeous. It just, especially if you live in a hard water area, it is hella hard to keep it moist. But there are things you can throw in it to pre-poo it and soak it up and keep it nice and conditioned. If you know how to do it, if you style natural hair good, you will get looks and likes, trust me. Natural hair is always better. Men like to smell it, they like to play in it, they like to rub it. Men, if you have long hair, they like to, they want to do all kind of stuff to it, because a lot of men, apart from new, they don't have long hair, so they love playing in it. That's what makes men and women kind of different. LOMA, damn, yo, dude probably got a steel helmet on right now. I don't know what it is with helmets. I see people putting helmets in the chat. I need someone to tell me what that means. Aegon be letting dudes on. Oh, where's Aegon? Is he in the building? Shout out to Primetime VA. Appreciate you for coming in. Salsa is more Dominican Republic, and black Cuban women. Okay, I didn't know that. Shaka, big facts. Weave equals yeah, this is not a no weave zone. We're not really killing women who wear weave. I understand, for example, if you have long natural hair, I would never say cut your hair into a short style. I would much rather you plait it up and put on a what's it called, a 32 piece, the short style, so that you maintain your natural hair. Women want to change up their look. Sometimes they don't want to damage their hair with color and things like that. So a little bit of color in the weave or something, some highlights, whatever. This is not an anti-weave zone, okay? But it's just a thing where if the weave becomes almost like an idol in your life, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because if the weave is, not only costing you a lot of money, but it's stopping you from having a quality of life, going to the beach, going swimming, going to the gym and things like that. What's the point to have like this banging hairstyle, but the rest of your life is falling apart because of this weave? You'd be much better off if you don't want to weave the hair, but you don't want to do what it takes to maintain a natural, because shout out to the breakdown of woman's perspective. Yesterday they were talking about the maintenance of natural hair. If you don't want to go through that, again, you didn't hear it from me, but somebody who looks like me said, why don't you just press it out or straighten it with a little cream crack or something? Yes, if you do that, you will have to cut it off to start again to go natural, but at least it's your hair, and if you maintain it, you can enjoy going to the gym and hanging out with your man, doing activities with them, and your hair is not a priority. It's just there. Well, with cream and crack, as long as you manage to keep it there, because that thing be burning the head out. Word. You guys, what are you guys talking about? Black Brazilian women dance to samba and funkeira. Funkeira? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the second one. What was Mr. Fantastic talking about? He was Mr. Fantastic 824 last night to Bronzebird. What was happening with Mr. Fantastic? I missed that one. Uh-oh. Sounds like Big Lady. Yeah, not Erica Badu. No, please. Not after the candle business and she's like a witch. No, please. Uh-oh. Nate in the building. Nate took one of the videos and he was sharing it. And I was like, I saw a couple of people coming through, subscribing to the channel. So if you came through because of Nate, shout out to you, okay? And I was like, somebody's busy. Somebody's doing something. And I was like, okay, I've got a few minutes. Let me just go through YouTube and see who's live. And I saw Nate's on. And I was like, whoa. Now I understand where these people have come from. And he was like, please don't copyright me. And I was just like, oh, I would never, I'm glad you took the content, and it was a nice surprise. So shout out to Nate in the building. Shout out to Celine. I think you said hey to the wrong person. The culture is called American culture, most definitely. And it's just Black Western culture now. Everywhere where people are getting access to Black American culture, they're literally adopting the same behavior. If Black American women have problems with Black American men, they should seek Black Canadian men to date. And you see, Ayil, this is where going back to what George said earlier, the good divestors versus the bad divestors. You think that there are good and bad, but at the heart of this woman's speech is contempt for Black men. I don't want to accuse her. I don't want to drag her, but that's what it is. Okay. She said, I think she's already said it. She said, okay, you've divested from Black men, but you need to divest from the mentality of the burden people put on you. In her mind, the problem is Black men, period. And it's not Black men. It's that you were exposed to Black men who were not productive. And instead of your parents saying to you, I shouldn't be with this man, I'm going to get rid of him and protect my daughter's, to a degree, innocence, her positive outlook on her own men, adults were turning to children, telling them all their problems. We talked before about the concept of emotional incest, the parentification of children, putting adult responsibilities on kids. This young lady at the age of 10 already felt burdened because the adults were putting adult responsibility on her as a child. And so in her mind, she's grown up thinking black men are the problem, but really and truly, it's kind of like she was set on the wrong path because she was shown the wrong example. She got involved with the same kind of men her mother should have got rid of because that's all she knew. So the issue is not the race of, isn't the issue is not the culture of the man. The issue is the fact that he's black and he's male. From his black and he's male, he's automatically deemed as a problem in her eyes. And because she focuses on him and talks about men in that kind of way, that's what she attracts. It's like if you're in a relationship with somebody who's dysfunctional, like they're used to chaos, if you are stable, they will create chaos. They will say and do things to provoke you. They will hit you. They will try to trigger you. They will say and do things to get you to react, because when they are chaotic, they cannot deal with somebody who's calm and stable. So they will create drama because that's what's familiar to them. This is why I did the video recently about the young lady fighting the guy in the car. And I was saying to you, women trying to run men over. In some instances, they have been successful and actually killed the person. If you can see this person has that kind of tendency, just leave and don't look back. Because if they're the kind of person who tries to goad you into hitting them, or you can see that they try to escalate things to violence, they're trying to set you up. So you have to walk away from that situation, because no matter what you do, they're going to say you were the wrong one because you shouldn't have hit that woman or something. I know that it can go both ways. Men hit women, but a woman can try to psychologically, get you worked up to make you hit her, because in her brain, that's what she likes. There's a video on WorldStar, and it's, I might find it a bit later, but it was crazy how the woman is slapping the guy in the face, and then next thing they're kissing. They get off on this drama and this chaos. It does something for them sexually to arouse the situation to the point of violence, and then afterwards they come together, and it's like, this is so unhealthy. But you'll be surprised how many people subscribe to that kind of break up to make up, make up sex and things like that type of relationship. Okay, so she grew up in a traumatic environment, and so she's gone out into the world and is attracting the same kind of men. Auntie, I have a theory about another of these traumatized divested chicks. The trauma scrambled their brain so bad that their reasoning in critical thinking is flawed, because it always skips a beat. It is flawed because even what she's saying, it's curious why she edited the video so much. What did she take out? Did she take out an and an R and a pause? Or did she realize I don't want to look like I'm going against black women? And so she kind of just chopped it up. But it doesn't flow properly. But then the thought process of these divestors doesn't really flow properly anyway, because there's always this thing, I need to protect black women from criticism. And you can't. If the person is wrong, they're just wrong. Do you understand? So Bronzeberg said, hit the like, god damn it. Dimitri in the building, he says, hey Big Nate. Then they'll just mess up the Canadian men, because the problem is not the man, the problem is them. I only have straight hair. Yeah, you can get a little mousse, curl it up in there. I don't know what that was. No. I changed my avatar to Baby Yoda because he's cute. He's cute for real. Just for the record, Celine does not look like this. This is Baby Yoda, okay? Yeah, that natural kinky curl hairdo that some women have is so cute to me. So is the fro, braids, or locks. Yeah, a lot of men, they prefer, the fro is magnificent. They do love a fro. If your natural hair looks good, you will get more props than with weave, because it's so unusual to see women embracing their natural hair, that you actually stand out a lot, even amongst white people. They're like, why the hell haven't you got a weave on? It's like, well, because I don't need your hair to feel good about myself, if you don't mind. Grow locks and be natural. Salute Sister George and C Rose. Yep, they did a great job yesterday on the show. And they were talking about T.I.'s daughter, Deja, allegedly claiming that she hates the fact that she has her father's texture hair. And it's like, well, you've got the money to get a stylist. Just stop. Shout out to Nate. Women want to date Chief Keef and turn him into Keith Huxtable. Chief Cliff Huxtable. Yeah, that's really funny. Nate has a little thing where he's like, you have these men that are like Chief Keef and you want to turn them into a what's it? Heathcliff Huxtable. It's not going to work. Kareen says, Baby Yoda's hella cute. He is. Everybody's saying hi. I think, Nate, I will think of that quote and start laughing. Yeah, some quotes do make you laugh. I would happily fly to Brazil and Colombia to find a black woman as a black Brit. Go through. Like, this is not a anti-swirl, anti-divest channel either. And this is the reason why I say to people who are black who want to date out, but obviously it applies to anyone of any race. The issue is not that you need to divest because you're not desired. The issue is you don't respect the people in your own group. And because you cannot respect them because of whatever you've been through, for you to find peace and happiness, just date somebody who you can respect. A lot of the divestors, their issue is they don't trust and they don't respect black men. And I understand there are a variety of reasons why it's like that. I can't change that. You have to change that. And if you're not willing to change that, you need to divest so you can be happy. But staying in the community, quote unquote, or staying on an online community, complaining all day, that's not loyalty. You want to either you need to, suck it up, buttercup, get on with it and date a man that you can respect, or leave the community and find a man you can respect. But staying and complaining and calling it loyalty, it's too much. Shout out to Manu12. Greetings to you, my dear. I one time heard a black woman say she was a believer, so I went to her for counsel thinking she'd have advice, and I said how I want to be submissive to my husband, and she looked at being submissive as weak. Yeah, because she's a feminist, but she doesn't know it because she doesn't have maybe pink hair, and dresses like a man or in a power suit or something all day, But feminist ideology is so pervasive and they're indoctrinating you from such an early age. You don't realize how much you're influenced by feminist ideals. Okay, so either she doesn't understand what the word submissive means. She equates submissive with being abused or enslaved or something like that. Or like you said, it's weak. But again, this is kind of like this culture of the strong black woman. Being submissive and being vulnerable, as you see here on the screen, it says resist vulnerability or help from others. Okay, well, if you refuse help from others, you got to carry the load on your own. Okay. Dimitri says, as Gen Z, let me say this, the adults who chose to participate in this convo before us, Gen Zers, I'm thinking about doing a video about why Gen Zers probably shouldn't trust divestors. Yeah, go for it. I mean, the more voices coming out and speaking against them, the better. And it's about logic. It's about trying to present an alternative argument. No one is saying don't divest if you want to. There's always been people who've divested. There have always been people who prefer to date out. It makes no difference. 75 to 85% of American black men are with black women. A handful of men and women who date out really is irrelevant. But that's why I have an issue with these channels that spend all day focusing on them, because they're such a small percentage. It's not even worth talking about. Dimitri says people who gave up, or people who gave up in general. Yeah. People who gave up in general would be like maybe people who were like Black Pill or something like this. That's a be careful. They'll come and they want to hear what you have to say. And again, being black pill is not even a terrible thing. But I think that's when kind of you become a bit nihilistic, when you become so consumed with the red pill truth, you feel like life is hopeless. And I don't believe it's hopeless, because there are various things that you can find satisfaction in your life with. It's not just about love and relationships, but that is a huge part of life. Okay. He has to be mature, responsible, and always wanting to try new things. I did a whole video. I don't know if you've seen it. Well, Ayil is responding to Celine. I did a whole video on dating standards in the black community. I've done a couple of videos, so you can check that one out. I don't know if I can find it later, but maybe I'll link it at the end. But it's talking about ways that you can figure out the kind of things you need, what you want versus what you need, and it's just a little breakdown. I'm going to do a video in the future at some point on a book that I read called like 200 questions you should ask before you say I do. I need to get another copy because I think I gave it away and the person never brought it back, but it's fine. So I'll buy that one again and maybe we can review it together. Our generation is weird, for sure. But you have to blame the generations that came before then. They didn't help you out. They didn't set you up. Celine, just a bit. A bit, really. You guys are funny. She thinks being submissive will lead to abuse. But a lot of men are being actually abused by women. That's the thing. But I suppose because you're a female, it doesn't really count. It's like, well, okay, well, she's just being spicy. She's being sassy. You know, maybe he likes it. And, you know, he's going to be demonized if he fights back. But actually, I told her how God made us separate in roles, equal in value. She went off on me. And this is why a lot of women, you know, this is the other side of the coin. The women who are decent, they struggle to talk to the women who will basically take their head off for going against the so-called code or the sisterhood. It's like, if you're not just defending women blindly, you're somehow, you're not down for sisters. This is why I'm not keen on people who repeatedly talk about, you know, I care about black women and black women this, black women that, because in a lot of instances, they're actually, they're sweeping a lot of the bad behaviors of black women under the rug, making excuses for it. And obviously we know we can't improve if we don't first address what's really going on. Yet it's the hottest topic on these streets. Yeah, definitely. Black pill dudes need to step their game up. There's a lot to life out here apart from talking about dating and relationships. So, you know, my fear for people who embrace the black pill is that they become hopeless. That's the only issue. Life has a lot to offer. There's so many beautiful things about this world to go and enjoy. And I understand that if you can't find somebody who you want to spend the rest of your life with, that could be, depressing, or how can I say? You feel like something is missing. Let me say it like that. But at the end of the day, there are other ways to feel fulfilled. And there are other ways that you can have companionship or impart what you have to another person, another generation, and give back, if it's not through a spouse and your own children. So it's not a complete loss. And I think for some people who are really black pill, there are other issues in there. I think there are some kind of, not to sound disrespectful, but like maybe some types of autism or some type of social anxiety that makes it hard to bond to anybody. So you may need to get that checked out. That's the same for a lot of people who are incels. It's not a case of they are not desired by anybody. It's a case of maybe they have unrealistic expectations. They're fixated on a particular person who's not reciprocating the feelings, or there's some other condition in there. For example, a lot of people who are especially the men in the audience, they're going to know a content creator known as the Joker. He has a channel called The Better Bachelor, and he openly came out and said, like, I have he didn't say antisocial personality disorder. He said, I've got like an anxiety. I struggle to bond to anybody. So the reason why he is like a bachelor talking about, you know, red pill and things like that is partly because he understands he has a difficulty bonding and connecting with people generally. And I've seen men who are incredibly handsome and they're talking about being incels. And when you see them having the height, they've got the body, they've got the looks. I'm sure they've got the money, 2 out of 3 looks, money, status. They've got at least 2. They should be able to attract women. It lets you know that there's something deeper going on in there why these men are struggling to connect with women. So it's not to demonize them or anything like that. It's just a case of you have to understand what's the root cause of the disconnect. Okay. So they're blue pill, not black pill. Where are we? The solution for black pill men: go to the gym and start exercising, start going to clubs by yourself, start dressing more like suits and loafers, cologne, grow facial hair, and keep it neat. And I've seen brothers like this who are incels. They make incel content, or they make content for men who identify as black pill or incels. And some of them are not unattractive. They physically have no reason to not be able to attract a female. And it could be that maybe the preference, they have a preference and those women don't like them. Maybe they're fixated on a particular female and she is not feeling them like that. Or they have another issue in there mentally that makes it awkward for them to date. Okay, so some of them are not blue pill. Snoo says some of them are blue pill, they're not black pill. Depends. Solution for blue pill, black pill men: if you live in a rural area, move to a major city, make new friends. Yeah, they need to work on their anxiety. They need to work on the root cause of their anxiety. Shout out to Red Pill Awareness. I hope he's giving me those flowers. It's a sense in the correction. I'm black pill. Black pill ain't doom and gloom. You're hearing blue pill guys claiming to be black pill. I think some of them are. I think some of them definitely are. Red Pill Awareness says, real talk. You guys having a nice little chat. Solution for blue pill men: don't believe this hit the wall over 30 lie. Women over 30 are fine. Oh my God, Ia's going to become the woman's best friends right now. These are the words they long to hear. These are the words they long to hear. Yeah, for me, black women hit the wall in the body before they hit it in the face, because you know, we have an obesity crisis, and you know, carrying excess weight is going to age you. It's going to age you. It's going to make you feel older. It can make you look more mature than you actually are. You know, we don't necessarily have the 7 signs of aging. I'm looking like an Olay commercial. But yeah, a black person could recognize an older black person. A non-black person may struggle to date or age a black person because we don't have those fine lines and signs of aging. But yeah, even if you look youthful, there's still certain expectations when you get to a certain age. And you can hit the wall in your mind, you can hit it in your face, you can hit it in the body. A lot of these young girls that you see fighting and carrying on, they may still look youthful, but they still hit the wall in their mind. Their mind is gone. You can't work with that mind, even though the body is looking good. If you look at the thumbnails on my channel, I have black pill all over it. I'm going to check out some more of those thumbnails. I think, yeah. And I think Sir is also black pill. I notice he has a lot of black pill in his thumbnails as well. Yeah, so hitting the wall is not a lie. There is a wall. You're like, I'm here, right? I see you. Yeah, I saw the woman who normally looks outstanding. However, when she gained pounds, she looked older. Yeah, it ages you. To me, the hit the wall lie doesn't exist to me. I'm 32 and won't date women younger than me. And that's your preference. That's your preference. At the end of the day, 32 is middle of the road. I support men dating women who are younger. I support age gap dating and I encourage it, because if you claim as a woman you want a certain lifestyle, depending on your age, you are going to struggle to have that with a man unless you want to build. Again, when women say struggle, are you talking about the normal, we got married young and we were both broke and we lived in a rat bag apartment with, you know, everything from IKEA, shout out to Kevin Samuels, and then we gradually upgraded until we kind of at the age of 50 got our dream home? Or are you talking about, you know, we couldn't go to Fogo de Chao every night? You know, he was buying me River Island instead of Gucci. You know, define struggle. Because to one man broke is another man's rich. So when these women say I want a certain life, a man under a certain age is not going to be established. Now, some men prefer older women because they themselves are quite mature and they find younger women too immature. I don't necessarily encourage huge age gaps like decades, but 5, 10, even 15 years, your senior, I'm all for it, because at the end of the day, the woman is in her physical, her sexual, her reproductive prime, and he is supposed to be established in his financial prime. And who that man is going to be, that's who he is. At 30, by that time, he knows who he is and what he's on. Again, why are you trying to fix adult men and get them to, quote unquote, act right? That maybe you're dating boys. That's why you have to get them to act right. So, you know, this lady's argument was a bit whatever. Again, if a woman keeps herself up, looks after herself, eats well, moisturizes her skin, yeah, she's not going to show signs of aging in the face. But if she's, you know, morbidly obese, or if she's got a terrible attitude, she's still hit the wall. Okay, the wall is real. When we talk about the wall, we're talking about, can you attract the optimum mate? Can you attract the optimal mate for marriage? Just because you can get a guy to sleep with you doesn't mean to say you still haven't hit the wall. At any age, you can get a guy to sleep with you, but that doesn't mean to say that you haven't hit the wall, because it's not about can you get sex, it's can you get commitment. Once your optimal commitment prospects have dropped, you have hit the wall. Okay, so the wall is real. I have a video. So what does it really mean to hit the wall? I might link that one as well. See, you guys are great. I'm just gonna link. Go and check out the rest of the videos. God damn it! Don't make me tell you again. Wait, let me put my begging on the screen. Where's my begging? Begging, where are you? Oh yeah, don't go over there and harass the woman. We're just breaking down her commentary. Check out the rest of my videos. Yay. Where are we? Blue pill is done. It's just done. I don't know. With maybe with the manosphere going kind of mainstream, it could be. There could be like a mass awakening of men realizing what's what. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Shout out to MTGV TV in the building. I don't know if you're a new subscriber, but I really appreciate. Shout out to Sir Obadiah for sharing the link. I really appreciate you. And if you are new to the channel, you've just subscribed, please make it known in the chat so we can give you a little thank you. I really appreciate you being here. Shout out MTGV. That's a mouthful. Hit the wall is lies to me because I like cougars. Get out of here. Get out of there. Get out of there. You see, there's somebody for everybody. There's somebody for everybody. God damn it. I was in a rave last month. Was whining. You made her year. You made her year. But did you marry her though? Did you propose though? Are you gonna see her again though? And I'm 46 and I go no more. Wait, I'm 46 and I go more than 10 years younger. Old brains are a no-no. Exactly. I've got a video. I've got two videos. One that's like black women need to be with older men, younger women need to be with older men, and why black women discourage black men or black people from the age gap dating. Even recently, I was in a conversation talking with somebody on Instagram about the whole Marquise Houston with his wife or wife to be, and the huge age gap there. And it's like, it's a no-brainer. It's only in the black community. It's a huge problem. And this creates a huge problem because you have immature women with immature men trying to raise children. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have resources. One of them has to be the mature person. And if new is 46, minimum 36, by that time you should have at least your head remotely screwed on as a woman. So minimum 10 years is not a big deal. New is 46. He could go 20 years younger, and she's still legal and still should have an ounce of common sense in her mid to late, approaching late 20s. Okay, so I do promote age gap dating because that's going to help a lot of the problems in the black community disappear. That stigma needs to be removed. Another of the adults I see in social media don't respect what marriage is supposed to be. Yeah, they don't know what marriage is supposed to be. And women look forward to the wedding more than they look forward to the marriage. Men look forward more to the marriage than they do the wedding. They're not really excited necessarily about the day. It's not. I'm not saying they don't care, but they care about the long-term commitment after the day is over. The women will spend 50 years planning for one day, but won't spend 50 minutes planning for the next 50 years. That's why men are saying it's not worth, the juice is not worth the squeeze, because to hitch your wagon to a lot of modern women is no benefit, all cost and no reward, And I'm trying to I want to do a video talking about to save the black community. Should we just encourage men to be surrogates, get surrogates, and just raise kids by themselves? I can't put it together. I might do a panel at some point, because if you choose between single mothers and single fathers, single father raised children do better. So is the way to solve the problems of the black community just to remove the woman from the picture? That's a conversation for another day. But I think we'll do a panel and everybody can bring their thoughts to the table on that one. Nah, good on older brains. The more red pill becomes mainstream, the more it's watered down. Now, that's true. That is true. Because you get a lot of people who hear a handful of talking points and they hear a few concepts, or they have a particular content creator that they like and agree with. They repeat a lot of the information, and then afterwards they think they're red pill. And that does cause a lot of confusion, because then they conflict with people who are bringing the real red pill. Don't do it to yourself. Bronze is still like, no, don't go into this old women. Random dudes start calling themselves red pill. It's true. Get out of there. Get out of there. No, I didn't propose. You see, you getting that older woman's hopes up just to dash them, you fiend. My mom and dad discourage age gap marriage. I don't know why. They have their reasons. But every relationship dynamic has its pros and cons. There's good things about dating close to your age, and there's good things about age gap relationships. And if you speak to Ayil, he'll tell you there's good things about dating older women. Get out of there. Get out of there. Shout out to Mr. O in the building. Top of the morning to you, sir. Boker Tov and Shalom. Shalom Aleichem. How is everybody doing in the house? Toda Rabah, I think. Is that? Oh, Toda is good. Thank you. Mr. O, Shalom. From Mr. UK. From the UK, Mr. O, yep. Well, I keep it real all day on the red pill. Let me know when you do a panel. I would love to be there. Yes, this one wasn't supposed to be long, because I've got to go to that place where I pretend to do stuff. So I didn't drop the link, but if you come through and you see the link at the top of the channel, it's panel time. I find older men more attractive than a lot of guys my own age, and that's probably partly because they're distinguished, they've got money, they're established, they've come into their manhood and their identity, and there's a sense of security there. They know who they are and what they want, and so that makes it easier for you to follow, because they're not confused about who they are and where they're going. A younger man hasn't necessarily established his identity properly, and he hasn't got established financially. Yes, sexually he's at his prime, but a lot of other things are still uncertain. And so like I said, there's good and bad in dating men your own age or women your own age, or age gap in the relationships. You just got to weigh it up for what you really want. But I do promote age gap relationships because there's a culture of demonizing men who prefer older women, or who promote dating younger women. What did I say? There's a culture of accusing men who date younger as being predators, and that's something we need to remove. But it's part of the keeping the dysfunction in the Black community going, which I'm not going to go into. But funnily enough, I have a video. So I think it was called like Black Women Secretly Don't Want to See the Community Improve, something like that. So you guys can check that out. Inglewood. Get out of there. You guys are funny. Where am I? Red pill in this space is now sold at the supermarket in the US and Tesco. Shout out to Tesco. Tesco used to be good, but Aldi's much better. I'm telling you. Even if you want to like live a low carb life, and you can, Aldi's the one. Half my age plus 7. Yeah, that's a good rule. So new 23 plus 7, 30. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. I never had success attempting to date guys my age. I don't think I'm lit enough for guys my own age. I'm a square. That's okay. There's somebody for everybody. I don't know. Do you like squares? When it comes to connecting, the core things have to match. What you really value, the things that you know, if we don't agree on this, like both of us are going to end up in something hard and rectangular. One of us is going to be in a box and one of us is going to be in a cell. Then those are the things you need to agree on. There are certain things you can, it's okay. I would like for it to be there, but I can live if it's not there. And there are certain things that, is not really important. And if you've got an old soul and you're a mature person, you're just going to vibe more probably with an older person. Isn't it, Ayil? I was going to make a joke about you pushing your woman in a wheelchair. Never mind. I saw the episode when you called in on another channel. Oh, okay. That's from Mr. O. Young men can't commit. Yeah, because they're not stable. And one thing you have to understand about men want to commit when they feel like they can fulfill their obligation. Even a young guy who's trying to act big and tough, it's not that he doesn't necessarily want to commit. He doesn't feel ready to commit because he knows he's not in the position to make you happy. Like he can't give you a house, he can't give you a car, he couldn't support you emotionally, maybe he can't take care of a family. And so it's not so much he has commitment issues, it's more a case of he recognizes his inability to do it to the end. So, but again, that comes from the fact that he's not established. A man who's more established and knows what he wants, it's going to be easier for him to commit because he knows where he's going and what he wants. I'm going to pretend like I didn't see that. Everyone is a square, if not in the P game, Celine. Square is another bastardized word. Yeah. Male Israelites, not all cougars. Some need therapy. Yeah, some are worse than the young girls. I'm sick of saying older men are weirdos for wanting to date younger women who are, of course, of age. Exactly. It's all part of the Jedi mind trick. Do you see what I did there? There's a lot of Jediing going around. He said red pill awareness. Okay. Young men can. Lol. Sometimes. You got to be specific because I'm everywhere. Okay, so where are we now? Let's try and finish this. We are 2.5 minutes in. Really? How?
The idea of moving on. And I was like, well, I thought that was the worst thing I could ever hear. I gotta wait for everybody to be dead. Wasn't for me. So when I think about divesting, is divesting from all of that baggage, all of that responsibility, all of that crap that Black women are expected to carry for and in exchange for the label of a strong Black woman. Nothing, not for me. Because what I
Okay, so again, we hear this all the time, the concept of the strong Black woman. It's not men asking you to be strong. It's not men asking you to save the Black community. It's other Black women telling you part of your identity as a Black woman is to be strong. You have to be strong for your kids. You have to be strong for your man. You have to be strong for your parents. You have to be strong for your job. And then, as she says, the more you act like you're strong is the more you're expected to carry. But it's not men placing that responsibility on you. It's other women telling you, as a Black woman, you earn your stripes. Okay, you get to keep your Black card when you can prove that you can handle and carry a lot of these burdens. And this, I mean,
found was that the stronger you were, the more they put on you. Now,
this obviously is going to make you very hard over
I
time.
wanted to go away. I wanted to do things. That was all too much for me. Like at a young age, I was like, yeah, I wanted to live before everyone else died. I wanted to be able to go places and to do the things. I didn't even know what those things were. So in my head, I wasn't like, I'm divesting. I'm 10 years old. I'm divesting. No, I was just like, that's not for me. That whole thing is not for me. So the first thing I really thought about, because relationships are so big in people's lives, I was like, I don't want my relationship to be that big, to have to be so much more than just me,
Okay, so since she said, oh, the relationship is so big, well, what she means is the relationship is so burdensome, because if I'm in a relationship, especially with a Black man, it means I've got to carry the entire load of the relationship. In her mind, a relationship is like a woman doing everything for everyone. And again, it goes back to who the women around her, the sisterhood of failure, was showing her. They were dating men who couldn't support her. And so she felt like a relationship equals struggle. So this is basically fear. She was talking from a position of fear. She's like, I don't even really want to get into a relationship because I know I'm going to be struggling. And I want a relationship that's going to be where I receive as much as I give, basically.
I wanted something more kind of balanced. And when I started dating, I didn't know how to translate that. I'm going to be honest, because it's all a trial and error of this life. So this is part of.
So you didn't have good relationships demonstrated to you. So you went out into the world making mistakes, dating the wrong people, replicating the same cycle of dysfunction because that's all you knew, because that's what was demonstrated to you.
Evolution, but that aside, what I never did, regardless of who I was dating and the ethnicity that they were, was let them put that baggage on me. Because despite the fact that you might say I'm divested from Black men, you have to divest from the mentality that Black women are taught to have.
Okay, so she came across quite neutral. Like I said, I wanted to do this video because she seemed quite reasonable until I got to that bit in the video. And then she's like, okay, so you've divested from Black men. The problem is not Black men. The problem is the men your parents dated. I don't know how to say it without being disrespectful. But that's how it is. Okay. The people, that the women in your circle, the older women who should have been guiding you into a better relationship, they didn't demonstrate a good relationship, which gave you fear and anxiety of dating. And as a result of that, you equate a relationship with struggle. And I'm sure they only really dated Black men. So in your mind, dating a Black man equals struggle. But the problem wasn't the men. The problem is the women. It was the women, because of the women dating the wrong kind of men for whatever reason.
With any ethnicity or person, and you still end up in the same sad sack situation.
And that's what a lot of divestors don't want to acknowledge. If you keep having relationships and they're all failing, the problem is not them, it's you. If you are the common denominator, whatever it is, whether it's in your family, in your friendships, amongst your kids or whatever, in your romantic relationships, if you are the common factor, you are, somehow responsible for the dysfunction in that situation.
Not how I am interested in living at all. So I don't really come on this channel, and I don't really want to talk about tons and tons and tons about relationships, but I understand, for me, it's more than, my life is more than that. My life is not focused around the man in whom I'm dating or married or whatever the case may be. My life is so much broader than those things. And I think that was another thing in my, growing up. I had to really separate it. And it's hard. Like, like when you're literally, I don't want to do.
I think now she's talking about black identity, like people saying to her, you have to be with a black man. Don't you want black children or something like that? And it just depends. But again, a lot of the times women will try to say it's the men who are or the white woman is preferred, or the non-black woman or the exotical is the black man's preferred choice. But when it comes to, I need to establish identity outside of who I date, it's usually women saying things like this. It's not really men. So who is really loyal to the race and who is really thinking about legacy?
But then you get in the patterns because you've only seen certain things, and you think struggle love is the way that you build together and you come out on top, and we were at the bottom and now we're here type of BS. Like, no. That's just that's surrounding the male ego. And
okay, so that's when I kind of if I'd have thrown the phone, she has to replace the screen. Okay, if I threw the phone at that point, it's like the male ego. She literally just said her mother and the women around her dated, what Cynthia G would call trash bags. And then somehow it was the male ego. All right. How the male ego suddenly got blamed for the women in your family's dating choice, I don't really understand, because the struggle love mentality was passed down from generation to generation by women. I'm turning 45 and I don't want a woman over 27. Yeah, I don't blame you. 35 is still a lot of gap between your age and legal. Yeah, I can definitely chill with and keep old souls company, especially during winter. Sharing body heat. You're a mess. I don't want to promote channels here. I can't say where. Yeah, black women have a funny way about them. All women have funny ways, but their funny ways are just different. By the way, I'm really enjoying myself here. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Is winter coming? Yes, winter is definitely coming. Winter is definitely coming in more ways than one. We've got automation. We've got a lot of like job losses and things like that. I feel like if you're not going to adapt, then there's a risk of being left behind if low skilled labor is going to go away. If a lot of men are deciding they're not going to get married, that's going to leave a lot of women vulnerable. I suggest they all start living together, to be honest with you. It's better to live with another woman and share as flatmates than be struggling or turning to OnlyFans. Okay, so winter's definitely coming. And then we've got the end of the world and things like that. But the end times, the Antichrist and things like that, those things that happen. Most young guys are for the streets. Yeah, a lot of them are. It's a response. Women said we don't want to be under male leadership. So they said, okay, go do you, boo. So Mr. O says he likes this pic of failure. Yeah, this is known as the drama triangle. Okay, and when I came across it, I was like, this is so poignant, because there are certain content creators, they're always mixed up in some type of drama. And it comprises of three characters: the prosecutor or the persecutor, the rescuer, and the victim. Now, obviously, these are not fixed. These are not real. You can, it's interchangeable. So that's why you see certain people's picture in more than one place, because they fluctuate between multiple roles. Originally, I didn't know really where to put Paris Milan, because I kind of felt she was more of a prosecutor. I didn't really see her as a rescuer. But she kind of does fit in all three. She's very critical of people. And I hear that she does a lot of GoFundMes. Shout out to not Emancipated Negroes. Who is my little friend? Where is my little friend? I got a new little friend. Always producing good content. Where is he? S Lynch, nigger soul and soul black. I just found out that Paris loves the GoFundMe, not necessarily for her, but once she gets her audience worked up emotionally, then she gets them to buy into all kinds of GoFundMes. So she's kind of like in the rescuer role, always trying to champion some cause, but she uses victimhood heavily. Like, you're oppressed, no one loves you, Black woman, you're always on your own, and things like that. And that's detrimental to Black women because it makes them really believe that they're on their own, and that's not true. It's actually an isolation tactic. It's actually a narcissistic tactic. So when we look at these different content creators, you can see how they use various types of manipulation and how they function within certain types of roles. Okay, Crystalline Kerrison is the biggest one for victimhood. She doesn't just promote victimhood to her subscribers like, you know, I care about you and I'm here for you, I'm here for Black women. She's also the one who lays it on the thickest when it comes to crying. I mean, she's literally the only one I've heard about talking about ending her own life. And she's obviously somebody who closes down her channel every 12 months, you know, to garner a little bit of sympathy. So she's definitely the biggest one for victimhood. And she's down there with Paris. The others are a bit more critical, or they try to allegedly offer solutions or as like a savior. But they, again, it's all about creating drama. That's why they're always mixed up in some type of brawl between each other, because they get subscribers and maintain subscribers through promoting drama. But if you're somebody who's always got drama going on around you, you are either drawn to it or you are creating it. Okay? It's just that simple. Again, if you're the common factor, if you're always caught up in a situation, you are the problem. Okay? So as you put Discord on your screen, oh yeah, you remind me. Ah ha ha ha. What would I do without you guys? In case you are unaware, wait, where am I? Where's my thingy gone? Oh my God, never work with live streaming. I've lost your comment. We build it as we fly, as they say. Shout out to everybody. So yeah, the Discord is very small. I'm active on Edward Anderson's Discord as well. His Discord is popping. So if you guys have not joined his Discord, or if you guys want to start a Discord, that would be really good. But yeah, I'm more active on Instagram, a little bit on Twitter. I can join your Discord. Yeah, of course. We need to make one. Definitely. Get the connections going. Are you for the streets? What? Mr. O, hoeing around. How dare you? I think Crystalline Kerrison is fine. Yeah, but her brain has hit the wall. Her brain has hit the wall. She's unstable. And I know what they say about crazy, okay? Don't get sucked into the crazy. Do you see what they're doing to her, Mr. E? Mystery. Do you see the pun there? He's a mystery. Not you, no. You're disqualified because you're for the streets. We need a bigger poster. Fall is coming in the northeast. Yeah, fall is coming here as well, actually. They're going to bore each other. What? Are you in Maine? I've got to get going. Oh, have a good day, Celine. Take care. For real. We should have everyone have a pick. Are you talking about the drama triangle or what? You guys let me know because I'm confused. It says bye. Still, how old are you, dude? What? What are you guys talking about in here? Shaka. Oh, 32. Tasha K does it too. Yeah, she does do a lot of drama, you know, but I mean, that's how she built her platform. I don't know. What I think. Tasha K, I know she gets into it a lot with some other big YouTubers. She had a beef with Lovely T, and they worked together actually to try and drop the same story at the same time. But apparently, I think Tasha K released the story early instead of waiting to do it at the same time with Lovely T, and that caused a rift between them. I remember Paris Milan showed her audience her picture and tried to say she's dark skinned, and her audience said, no, you ain't. Yeah, and apparently she's been getting lighter over the time. What 2 European cities would you name yourself after? London? Because London's the best. I'm really sorry, everybody else. London's got a lot of black people. I don't know what other cities got a lot of other black people. I'm not trying to name myself something like Tokyo or China. Okay. There's always a Karasin drama that pops up like Groundhog Day. Yeah, it's literally, she only just reopened the channel. It was only about 6 months ago that she shut the channel down and people were crying, how could you run her off YouTube? It wasn't that long ago she did this before. And then she came onto Clubhouse and now she's shut down the channel again. Is Discord better than YouTube? Discord is basically like a chat room that runs 24/7. So in some respects it is, because you can share images, you can share links to videos, and you can create different rooms. So like under Edward Anderson's Discord, you have like Today in the Sphere, a ladies' corner and things like that. So Discord can be nice because if you've got a good community of people who want to talk all the time, then yeah, it's quite nice. It's a chat room, but it's open all the time. So yeah, Discord's pretty cool. If there's enough people actively talking and sharing stuff, it's nice. Is Discord better than YouTube? They're different. Because in Discord, if you share a video, it's a link to a video. It will take you out of Discord. So YouTube, you can do presentations, and Discord is for people who want to chat. So they're kind of different in that respect. Yeah, so Discord is good for the chatting. Where's Michi X? I don't watch her. That's the thing. So I couldn't really say. So you guys can say in the chat if people you would put on this diagram and what role they would think. Remember, it's not fixed. You can fluctuate between characters depending on what situation you're in. Okay. If Crystalline Karasin is talking about a certain story, she's like, I'm for black women. I'm for black women. I'm here to help you. We're all we've got. And she kind of gets the violin out and gets you on that emotional high. But as soon as she's criticized, she's like, I was sitting in my car with the doors closed. And I was like, well, unless you want all your doors to be knocked off, I think most people sit in their car with the doors off. I don't think that's unique to you. And somebody gasped like, oh, it's like she didn't say she had the exhaust pipe going into the car. She just said she was sitting in there. I shouldn't laugh, but it's like, if you can't stand the heat, you got to get out of the kitchen. And Crystalline is somebody who doesn't get a lot of sympathy because at the end of the day, she's been in this business more than 10 years. She knows what time it is. Okay. She creates the drama, then cries about it afterwards. It's uncensored. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think it's uncensored. Yeah, I don't think it's censored. So you're kind of free. I think you're kind of free. Add Sweet Meal for Life. She's like Paris Milan. Okay, so we've got Sweet Ma for Life. She's a victimhood person. She likes to present victimhood. Big Cheese says, where's Michi X? You know, who would Boyce Watkins be? Is Boyce Watkins always embroiled in drama? Michi X, definitely. I think she's in a lot of drama. I don't know if Boyce Watkins would be there. We've got that new guy, Shoemake Way. He's definitely a rescuer. He's like Derek Jackson. And that other guy, the shout out to Little Big Nate. He just did a video talking about simps and simping forces. And there's some guy, he's the new Derek Jackson, but he swears he's covered in tattoos. He's another rescuer. He would go in that top right corner with Derek Jackson. It's funny how a lot of the men come across as rescuers. Okay, the only one I put Tommy I put as a prosecutor, but he also should go down here at the bottom as a victim, because when he kind of gets called out, he starts to cry. You look after who? You're going to look after who? Sweet Ma? Guys, don't hop on topic of crazy ladies. Don't let crazy hop on top of you. For real. Yeah, the notification. I don't know about the notifications. I never had any problem with that. Oh my gosh, Q497 in the building. Shout out to you. I'm good, man. Good to see you. Yes, the drama triangle. Shout out, he says, shout out to New. You make calls like Google Hangouts. Oh, really? I've never done that. I didn't even know you could do that. Well, that's good. I know, but they beyond petty stuff. Just tried those shots at bros sometimes. I don't be liking that. Okay. Lovely tea was fine. You see, I told you, hitting the wall. That weight gotta. Can you live stream? I don't know. You guys, can you live stream? Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Bristol, a lot of black people. Yeah, I'll stick with London. Bristol's nice but quiet. Liverpool, not so much industry. I've actually stayed in Manchester a month. It's kind of nice. It's all right. Birmingham. They often think I'm from Birmingham because I speak like this sometimes, but I'm not from Birmingham. I've never lived in Birmingham. No, I'll stick with London. I don't think so. Go over there. Oh, leave him alone. Ed is sweet. Ed is my boy. I love him. Tonya Tika Owen. Yeah, Tonya is up here in the top left. She's a prosecutor. She's a persecutor. I like Ed. I love Ed. I'm from the school of Edward Anderson. Long-winded as hell. I love him, but yeah. I didn't see that. He had a follow-up, but there's just so much going on. Sometimes nobody's doing any live streaming, and the next minute it's like everybody's live streaming at the same time, and it's like it's tough to just get around everybody and just show a little bit of love and support. He started screaming, "This is YouTube," at the top of his lungs over and over at Complex and Mike V. I missed that one. Sorry. I'm worried for Crystalline right now. Regardless of opinion, I don't want her suicidal. Bro, shout out to Edward Anderson. This is YouTube. Sorry, not YouTube. Yeah, shout out to Edward and shout out to Q. This is YouTube, okay? And this is why sometimes I feel a little bit apprehensive when I've got to do live streams. If you're talking about hair, if you're talking about nails, if you're talking about comedy or doing some skits, it's not life-changing information. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. But once you start talking about the big, the big four, the big five, you're talking about religion, you're talking about politics, you're talking about children, marriage, and things like that. These are serious topics. You are literally playing with people's lives because they become invested in you. I don't want guys invested in me. I'm a human being. I have my failures. I have my shortcomings. I want to share information, get a conversation going, and keep it moving. A lot of these people, they are dependent upon YouTube money. And so they have to keep feeding you a certain type of content to keep the numbers up because they've moved their basket where they can't reach it. Once they started getting a certain level of income, they had to keep producing a certain type of content, which often is quite negative. Okay, a lot of these people, they thrive on the negativity. They have to keep people in a state of victimhood because that's how they keep the people coming back. They're like emotional drug dealers. Okay, so I don't make money off of YouTube. Even when I get to 1,000, I could apply for monetization. Whether I get it or not is neither here nor there. I might not even bother with it because, people work hard for their money, and I don't necessarily need the money for, to live. I do this as a hobby. I do this to share information and to talk about my experiences and the things I've learned. Okay. These guys make money from YouTube, and that subsidizes at least part of their life. Okay. And so if you're going to give this kind of life-changing information, you have to know it's accurate. You can't just keep having your subs on an emotional roller coaster. Now, having said that, at the end of the day, you as a subscriber, me as a subscriber and an audience member, we have to be mindful what we watch. If Crystalline Kerosene is suicidal, unfortunately, that's her fault. That's her business, because she chose to make a certain brand of content. She has had so much pushback over the years from men and women. She has a mentor who was run off of YouTube. A lot of people who are veterans in the game, people like Wacky, I'm sure New has been around a long time. I don't know about Q497. People like Sir Obadiah and things like that. They remember the days of Brooklyn Blue, aka Kendall St. Charles. Kendall St. Charles is Crystalline Kerosene's mentor. Okay. And she was run off of YouTube by Black women for saying things like having a child out of wedlock is a basic bitch move. They came for her and she said, thank you for running me off of YouTube, because now the information I was giving away for free, I'm charging and making money for it somewhere else. So Crystalline is fully aware what she gets into. And like I said, if everywhere you go, you create, there's drama, you are not only, you don't just create it, you love it. You thrive on it. Most of the people in this image she's had running with at some point. These women cannot work with anybody. They cannot work with each other because they're so contentious. Their messages don't even consistently line up. You've got people talking about dark skin activism, trying to get with people who have mixed children. How does that even make any sense? We're not hating on mixed kids, but at the end of the day, how can you complain about Black men, for example, wanting mixed women, but then you're linking up with a woman who's producing mixed daughters? That's ridiculous. People who are pro-Black trying to form an alliance with somebody who's a swirler. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we feel for Crystalline because maybe she has a mental health problem. But if you know you've got a mental health problem, you've got more than enough money to get help and treatment. And if you can't get the treatment, if you can't sort yourself out, come off the internet. I told her, take the channel down and rebrand it. Your subs are so gullible and so naive. They will literally follow you, even if you say, let's go and, you know, if she did the pod challenge and was eating soap powder, they would follow. You could easily shut your channel down, come back with a new type of channel that was a lot lighter, a lot more positive, a lot more helpful. You've got more than a loyal fan base. She's finally hit 100,000 subscribers. She doesn't want to do it. So I can't feel sorry for her for feeling suicidal. It's all part of the act. It's all part of the act to garner a lot of sympathy. Give it a little while and she'll come scurrying back because she wants that YouTube money and that support and admiration. And if she's watching, or one of her little flying monkeys, you can go back and tell her I said that. In fact, I've told her. I've done a whole video. She is literally just peddling victimhood to get sympathy all the time. And she's like the oldest one. Crystalline is 50 plus. Tonya's in her 40s. Shira 7 is in her mid to late 30s. I think so is Cynthia G and Chrissy. Aimaloho is one of the youngest ones. But she's literally the worst. So I feel sorry for her, but I feel sorry for her subscribers. But at the end of the day, you know, if you want to sign up for that nonsense after being warned, bro, I can't help you. He's into Derek Jackson's Batman. For real. I just can't. I feel sorry for her, but at the same time, you sign up for what you sign up for. Crystalline has been scolded, rebuked, challenged, criticized hundreds of times. She's been on YouTube more than a decade. If you can't get it together now, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to play it throughout my live stream. And I like Edward, but this is YouTube. It just depends on how far. It just depends how far you want to take it. How invested you're becoming in people you just don't know. antisocial, look after Crystalline. I would wheel Crystalline to a doctor. I would. I told her straight, you need to take your channel down and rebrand it. Just come off the nonsense, you know. But she likes the drama. She is caught up in the most drama out of all of them. Chrissy doesn't really talk unless you kind of push her to the edge. You have to talk about Chrissy a lot for Chrissy to do response. I don't rate everything she says, but I can respect her for that. I don't really hear nothing about Aya Miloho, but Crystalline has gone at Cynthia G. Okay, whatever. You know, Cynthia's far from perfect. She got into it with Tonya. She tried to form an alliance with Shira 7. There was the white guy who basically was running through her subscribers, hitting them up and sleeping with them. Who else? You know, you name it. She tried to link up with Anna Bay from the School of Affluence. That didn't work out. You know, she tried to go on Kevin Samuel's show and she tried to get him to goad him into attacking her. He didn't. So what did she do? She flew her ass over to Jason Black. And then she used that as a way to say, look, these black men treat black women badly. But we all know that Jason Black doesn't pull any punches. So why did you go over there? She likes the drama. She likes the attention. Let me come off this voice, yeah, because you guys are getting me. You see, I was on Amber. I calmed down a little bit. And then look what you made me do now. I'm melanated, so I can't be to blame. Look after Crystalline. Crystalline needs to look after herself. She could be my mother. Are you crazy? Boyce Watkins made Cynthia G and Paris Milan. For real. He said, why would you? You can make calls like Google Hangouts, maybe. In a fight between Michi X and an alligator, I will put my money on Michi X. She's meaner than a pit bull, but that's being shorted on a one scoop of food. You guys, she goes in. I haven't watched her for a long time. I'm not in that sector. But yeah, she goes hard. Derek Jackson and Shumaki, the Capping Crusaders, the dim-witted duo. Yeah, Simping Forces on 9000. Boyce did make a lot of them, including Cynthia G. I think Crystalline is fine. I know she don't date brothers. I would look after to prevent her from being suicidal right now. Good luck. You must not have something to do. He's going to tell BGS on you and possibly sue you. Judgment. You guys are crazy. Yeah, 3 of my channel family are on right now. Oh my God, let me try and come off. I've got to go soon. You just like the way she looks. Yeah. Why protect someone that don't like you, dude? This is why black men lose. Facts. At the end of the day, she can't stand you. Her mentality is so corrupt. Why? Because for some reason she picked the man that she had her first child with. He was black. And it's kind of like the trauma that this woman is talking about. I was traumatized by a black man, and now I carry this hate and contempt into my adult life onto every black man. And it's like, why are you jumping on a grenade for a woman who can't stand you? You're better off giving your time, energy, and resources to a woman who actually will show you respect. You know, Crystalline can't be helped because she don't want to be helped. He probably already did. Oops. Right, that's why these topics are so recycled. I'm not sure which topic, but I know when it comes onto those women, you know, the rhetoric is very limited. And the thing is this, okay, even if we say everything they say is true, to what end? Are you just going to keep being mad at black men forever? At least come off the internet and go do something, you know, but just spending all day complaining about black men, talking about them, who they date and who they like and all this pseudoscience. It's not even healthy for the people who create the content, let alone the people who watch it. They're getting so desperate. They're getting videos from years ago. What next? They're going to start getting old black and white videos. I mean, they're dragging up tweets from God knows how long with the text between the scenes. Yeah, they literally would. But it's funny, if you found documents that said that black women were not always as loyal from that same black and white era, they wouldn't pull it up. to prevent her committing suicide. When I mean look after her, I wouldn't be dating her, just encouraging her not to commit suicide. Crystalline is not going to commit suicide. Her alleging that she felt suicidal is like a person saying, if you leave me, I'll kill myself. Okay, the person's not going to do it. It's just a manipulation tactic. Okay, I personally wouldn't give, and it's not even that we don't care, but at the end of the day, if you feel suicidal, you've got more than enough money to go and get the help. Why are you on social media as a 50-plus-year-old woman with adult children talking about I felt suicidal when you could just take your ass to the doctor? What do you want anybody in your audience to do apart from coddle you some more? That sounds harsh, but it's like, you're not a victim, you're a volunteer, okay? And you're the oldest one. Crystalline is over 50. I think everybody else in this picture is under 50, including Tommy Sotomayor. Maybe only Crystal Swirls is as old as Crystalline Kerosene, and they both were deranged. And Crystal Swirls was humiliating black men while dancing and sucking a white man's finger until he kicked her to the curb, and I think he beat her up. And then she couldn't come back to black men. She couldn't come back to white people. So she was just blubbering on the internet, you know, getting support from black women, saying how it's not her fault. That's what happens when you run around disrespecting black men. This is why there's a difference between a swirler and an interracial dater and a divestor. People who date interracially but they don't hate black people, you don't even know they have a non-black partner. But the swirlers and the divestors make a clear point of rubbing it in the black man's nose. I've got a non-black partner, as if it's, you know, it's some achievement, until it goes south. And then all of a sudden they can't come back to the black community because they've burnt the bridge, and they're not accepted amongst white people. So they're just stuck in the middle. Like I said, you date whoever you want. If you want to date out because you feel that's better for you, go do that. You can't get her mind right because she likes the dysfunction. In America, we say basket. You say basket. Basket? What? Basket or basket? What, basket case? I don't know. What are we talking about here? Basket. Because I don't want her committing suicide over YouTube. Bro, if she commits suicide over YouTube, it's because she wants to. Okay? And it's just selfish. It's selfish. You've got like 4 kids, 1 grown and 3 dependent. What are you committing suicide for? Better off to cancel YouTube than your own self. Over what? A few hateful comments? And I get it. Like, I find it hard to be sympathetic because at the end of the day, Crystalline is always caught up in drama. Always. She literally attacked Kevin Samuels for 6 months straight, bringing on guest after guest after guest to try and debunk his talking points. And the men that she brought on only confirmed his talking points. Why did you make that many videos if you don't like the pushback? I'm telling you, I said this in a live stream. I was going down the street. I couldn't hold it no more. I said, Crystalline is the kind of person that will provoke you into hitting her just so she can call the police on you. I said it. I don't take it back. She's that kind of person. She's just like, she'll just keep prodding you and prodding you and prodding you and provoking you until you react. That's why she went on Jason Black's channel. Because everybody knows Jason Black, once he's got you in his crosshairs, he's not letting up. He will call you all kinds of names. You know that. How did he recognize? She was like, hello, I call him, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's Chris. Da, 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 da. Should I say Chris or should I say Crystalline? Dun, dun, dun. They know each other. She knows him and he knows her. Tariq Nasheed. Oh, no, that's Cynthia G. She's all over the internet fighting different YouTubers. Go and make your content, Crystalline. There are so many ways you can uplift Black women without having to put down Black men. That's for all of them. But the reason why they don't do it is because those kind of videos don't make money. Because like them, the women that watch them don't really want solutions. Those women want to complain. And so they go to channels where they can have like this emotional, with all due respect, this emotional circle jerk, this echo chamber of victimhood. They go to places where they know they can get sympathy. And when they're not going to be challenged in terms of why they got in the situation they're in. And if you do challenge them, then they'll flag you. Crystalline is scared of her audience because she knows they will flag her. Crystalline is not the innocent wallflower that you think she is, but she can make her content and I don't have to watch it. And that goes for anybody with any content creator. If you're getting invested in people you don't know face to face personally, whatever happens, it just happens. Fresh and Fit is a prime example. She's pushing white supremacy talking points. They all are to some degree. I thought Crystalline has a new white guy to take care of her. Why is she bothered? Exactly. After her divorce, she allegedly got into a relationship with a white guy. I think he's a millionaire or something. Then she did a video talking about how she was on Tinder and how she got 300 and something swipe rights in a short space of time. And a lot of them were white men. And then, you know, this Mr. E came on the scene. So I don't know if Mr. E is the same man she started dating. But again, it's like, if you are wrapped up in love in a new relationship, why the hell are you even bothered? Like, you should. Your channel is about swirling. Well, she'll say my channel is about marry before you carry. But I've searched on YouTube for marry before you carry videos by Crystalline Kerosene, and I found songs made by other people. I don't see a single piece of content. If you find it, you know, let me know, drop the link, where she actually is talking about marry before you carry. Why? She probably took the videos down because she got a lot of Black women telling her, who the hell do you think you are, telling me what to do with my body. They don't make that kind of content because it doesn't get the views. All that business, as much as you hear her crying about that Black man that got, you know, baited the guy into saying the N-word, she loves it. That was like a gift from the clubhouse gods. Another reason to try and be relevant. Okay, I don't watch Crystalline much. No, I mean, people who are maybe new in the space, they don't realize how many years she's been on this cycle. I don't understand why people get caught up in this emotional roller coaster with her. They like the drama as much as she does. Maggles always protects Swallow Red. No comment, just I'll keep it moving. She hates Black people. Her daughter needs help. Yeah, her daughter is allegedly like a sex slave, basically, for a white couple. I mean, that's who she needs to be worried about rescuing, not random Black daughters on the internet. With all due respect. He says, are you a swirler? I want to see UFC fight. Crystalline Kerosene versus the antisocial socialite. I can't fight, you know. I can't fight. I'm a ninja with a keyboard. Joking. That's the cliche. That's the cliche saying. The antisocial. It's just YouTube. Have serious conversations, but at the end of the day, it's just YouTube. Can't rock with people like that who just want to talk. Yeah, I want to take it off YouTube. I want to support things off of YouTube, but at the same time, some people, their job is going to be motivate you. It's going to raise awareness. Other people, they're doers. Everybody's gift is just different. I don't want to be in endless conversations of talking. That I don't like. Okay, but what at the same time, you cannot base your life on a stranger on the internet as well. You're supposed to take the information and then start applying it to your personal life. And if that means you feel inspired to go and do something, that's great. But if you're just here for the entertainment factor, okay, there's entertainment, but whatever happens, happens. That's all I can say. You can't, we are strangers on the internet. Unless you guys have personal relationships offline and you're looking to build something. For example, Dimitri said he wants to start a project for Black boys. I might not be able to physically be there, but I can support financially to help him get it out, spread it further. If he's got material, I can share it. I can invite people and do, play my part. I don't want to be like just talking and having endless debates for the sake of debating. That's true. But at the same time, we want to translate what we're learning into our own lives because we want it, not because we're following behind a content creator like a cult. That's not healthy either. And I think, I can't blame somebody who has a cult-like following because they're not a cult leader. We all choose to follow who we choose to follow. Cynthia G is sexually frustrated. I don't know if she's sexually frustrated. She's got male subs. She's got male supporters. I'm pretty sure if she offered it, they would give it. My preference is any woman that isn't white because of racism I've experienced at the hands of white people. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, but you can't just say because the person is not white, they're going to be good. You have to understand that it's about the character, not the skin color. Because when you hear Black men on social media talking, they're talking about other Black women. So in that respect, I understand why you have an aversion to non-Black women, in particular white women. But at the end of the day, the fact that they're not white doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be perfect. Because I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I like my next woman to be Black because Hebrew Israelite law applies to Black women and doesn't apply to other ethnic groups. I mean, that's your preference. If that's what you believe, that's what you have to follow. But you can't be blue pill for a Black woman just because she's Black. Now, in regards to what I look like Usain Bolt and rapper Fabulous, forming Gogeta. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, then you should know better. Add me then and stop worry about Chrysaline. See, you've got a friend. He's going to help you. As for Hebrew Israelite men, they can have whatever women they want because we believe their children are Israelites because of the dad's lineage. Yeah. Chrysaline is manipulating people. From what I hear, people who are serious about it really don't talk about it. People don't advertise that. They just don't. Exactly. Shout out to Dane, #1 moderator in this space. Shout out to him. I understand why you wouldn't care about Chrysaline. No one, and let's just say this. It's not we don't care. Whether this is online or in a person's personal life. Shout out to Mr. Palmer from the F Child Support channel. He's like, you got to change the laws of your mind. You got to be willing to cut people off. Like they say, some people are more righteous than God, or they try to be more merciful than God. At the end of the day, if a person doesn't want to respect you, if a person doesn't want to value you, if a person doesn't want to treat you right, then at the end of the day, you have to cut them off for your own personal well-being. It's like it's like if the plane is going down, you have to put the mask and the safety jacket on you first. There's no point dying trying to save everybody else. You can't help others until you help yourself. So if Chrysaline Kerosene doesn't know that she has to help herself, why are you out here trying to rescue everybody else and you yourself are floundering? It just doesn't make any sense. She's got 4 children to live for. Why don't you come off the internet? Somebody else will pick up the baton, Chrysaline. You don't have to save the universe. Put it down, let somebody else pick it up and go and take care of your children who are dealing with the fact that you've separated from their dad and one of your daughters is a sex slave for a white couple. That's where you need to, prioritize your attention. Stop running away from that on the internet. So it's not we don't care as when we don't give a complete and utter, It's not that, but it's like at the same time, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. Out of everybody, you should know the most because you're the oldest. A lot of these women that I showed you in the picture, they don't even have children. They haven't really reached grandmother age. Crystalline has, but yet for some reason, she's almost the worst. And she's actually galvanizing women who she's harming to be a nuisance to Black men. Because Crystalline will tell her subscribers, go and flag down channels. So you build your channel, you're not being abusive, you're just hurting her feelings. And she basically wants to have you shut down. She's the kind of person like Goldie, who is out here trying to have Kevin Samuels taken off of YouTube and Instagram. Why didn't she have him taken off of LinkedIn? Why didn't she have him taken off of Twitter or TikTok? Because those platforms don't make money for him. So she's like, oh, he's inciting the men to hurt women. And I can't really prove it, but I feel like women are more at risk because of Kevin Samuels. Where's the evidence, Goldie? These women mean Black men harm. They mean Black women harm because their rhetoric is dangerous even for the women who subscribe to it. I did an entire video. Shout out to Nate. He really enjoyed the video about white men killing Black women. And there were so many. We got so sidetracked. And I'm sorry. There were other stories I wanted to mention, like the Black woman who was a single mother. She's sleeping with a married white police officer. And in her sleep, he got into her house and executed her because she was allegedly pregnant and said, I'm going to tell your wife I'm pregnant with your baby. These kind of stories, these women never cover, because they don't want to make Black women look bad. They become enablers of behavior that causes women to put themselves in danger. Their so-called knowledge is not helping anybody. It's only hurting Black women, constantly making them feel like they're victims when they're not. No one is saying Black men are blameless or perfect, but this rhetoric is not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody. Crystal Swells has a face that will scare a bulldog, and an attitude that would scare anybody. She was just, it was embarrassing to watch the way she would carry on with that white man. And I hear that like he was he drunk or he was a drug user or something, and he beat her up and everything, and he sent her back. Where's she going to go and to whom? Crystalline has an old daughter in NYC getting pimped out and prostituted by a white couple. Yeah. He says, you're right, you know better. I actually date all races. I ain't protecting or caring for any chick that pops. Yeah, it's not just about the skin color. You got to check the character, as a MOT would say, he's got a good saying, track record matters. That does count. And Crystalline has a track record of starting a lot of trouble and drama and beef. Being British, I don't know what a maggle means. Who's going to explain maggle? A maggle is like a simp enforcer. A maggle is a man who comes running to the defense of women. A maggle is like a male feminist, defending the honor of women who have no honor. I still don't know what cap and capping means. To cap means to exaggerate, to embellish a story, or to to basically just go overboard with a story, basically. It's like, yeah, I was skating on this skateboard and I did like a 620 and then I flew in the air and I landed on my head and I was skating on one hand and then I did a wheelie. You should have seen it. It's like, dude, you're just capping. But caping is like coming to the defense of somebody. Okay. So capping is one thing, caping is another. Shout out to Dane. It means lies and lying. Yeah, just exaggerating the story to make yourself sound bigger than you actually are. It's brainwashing and occult-like behavior. Look at how cults work and you'll see the similarities. They even have their own deity, the deity mother feminine. Yeah, it's all about pushing this female goddess worship, and it's ultimately going to lead to destruction. A Magal is a black man who protects black women at all costs. A male Daggle. Yeah. No. A Magal is a person who caps. Capping is lying. Caping is not. Yeah, she brought, was that the male sex worker? And then he started sleeping with her subscribers? There was the situation with the veganator. I don't remember if that was the veganator or if it was a different guy who came on and was running through the subscribers. The black woman I won't protect is stuck up black women, so I guess I'm not a Magal. No comment. Shout out to you. Chrysalin has an old daughter. Yeah, we read that way. How did I get up here? Did you type the same thing twice? Yeah, before Chrysalin Kerosene branded herself the pink pill, her channel was called Beyond Black and White. Black as in women, white as in white men. Yeah. And again, I have no issue with people dating interracially, but it's like, be honest. At the end of the day, whichever race of person you date, there are issues. There's going to be maybe a conflict of culture or something. Cynthia G, Miss Pookie and Ray Ray, but she can't pull them any much longer anymore. Well, when she did an interview the other day, I think at the end of last year with C Boogie, she was all twiddling the weave and looking all kiki with him. And I realized, oh, that's your imprint. That's what you like. You spend all day talking about Dusties because you're trying to suppress the urge to be with Dusties. Okay, I see. Yes, ma'am, I may not have the resources right now as I'm still in college, but I found my voice on YouTube and maybe I can start here. Facts. I mean, it's better you start out with something small and build it up over time as you get support and momentum than to try and do like a huge venture that you end up falling on your behind with. Shout out to Wise Nubian in the building. I don't have IG. I do have a YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel? Yeah, he does. If you guys are content creators, remember, please pop your link in the chat. Okay, let me remind everybody who's here. Where is she? Go Whitney. Go Whitney. It's your birthday. So yeah, well, Kerosene is using a sad story to keep people from challenging her. And to be honest, it's really not fair on other people. Yeah, it's not fair, but they sign up for it. You know, there's a lot of content criticizing Chrysalin. So if they want to listen to her, that's their choice. If they want to listen to the people saying, be careful, that's their choice. You're free. With freedom comes responsibility. Wise says, don't waste time on time wasters. Okay, I didn't know she hated black people and the situation with her daughter. Yeah. And that's what gets me. All these pro-black women content creators never called Chrysalin out until they had a falling out. Because to make more money, you can try and share subscribers. If you try to merge your subscriber base, you will make more money. This is common knowledge. I don't know, but maybe you're new in the space. She took part in the harassing of another woman when she was trying to go after Jessica X. Yeah, that whole fiasco where Shira7 lied and said that two random British people on the internet were Jessica X and Kevin Samuels, and sent her subs, which is actually a violation of YouTube guidelines. You cannot use, you cannot use your platform and then tell your subscribers to go harass other people online. I can't even remember what it's called. I think it begins with B, but you're not allowed to do it. And Crystalline has done it before, and she took the video where she done it down. No, don't worry. It's not that, we're angry with you, but we're just saying, take your time. When it comes on to following content creators and becoming invested in them, take your time to get to really watch them and know them. It's not about, falling in love with the person. I know if you love the personality, it makes it much easier to follow the person. But when you get into that situation of like blindly following, strangers on the internet, what can happen is they can tell you anything and you're not going to challenge it. And now you've put yourself in a position where it's like you're absorbing. It's like when people criticize the manosphere, you always have to ask them, well, what channels do you watch? Because the channels that they watch will tell you where their head is at and what their perception of the manosphere is. No matter how long you've been in the manosphere, there are channels that you're going to discover all the time, because the algorithm controls what you see to an extent. So they're always going to sell you or highlight videos to you that's kind of similar to what you're already currently watching. Once you click on a different type of video, it's going to suggest different things to you that you've never seen before. So your perception, for example, of any space is always going to be impacted by what you've watched already because of the algorithm. And so, you'll hear people say Crystalline's not like this or she's not like that. You've got to objectively look at what people are saying so that you can make a decision. First, know who you are, what you want. That will help you to decipher who you can follow and who you can't. Knowing CK beta racist Brad, he probably took her to save Partatia for some role play, some cosplay, some R&R. I didn't know that. Yeah. And the thing about it is this, he probably thought he was being smart. Well, I guess I am an N-word lover. But I'm just saying, if you've been in relationships with Black women before, you're supposed to know by now that certain things you shouldn't say. There's certain words you shouldn't use. Okay. So I'm going to get through these comments. I think the video is it's actually cape. You put on a cape to be a hero. Yeah, just stop paying attention to her. That's what she really wants. And that's what maybe that would actually drive her to suicide, because she can't cope with not being the center of attention. That video, I love that video. Right, so where are we? We're getting to the end of the comments. I think we're at the end of the video. We've got the point already. It's not Black men that make Black women divest, really. A lot of the issues are Black women related. Yeah, Crystal Swirls is on a whole nother level. Crystal Swirls has a face. Oh dear. I'm sure maybe her mother didn't love her. That's why she's so messed up. Who knows? Yeah, she really likes those men, but I mean, don't get it twisted. They're useful idiots. She only likes them because they're useful. She will send them on the kamikaze mission. Shout out to Nate. You know, she will send them to go and harass for her, and they will cape for her. But does she really respect them? Maybe the moment that the moment they criticize her, she will also call them a dusty. So there's no loyalty there. Yeah, based on looks, Crystalline is very attractive, especially for her age. Sinji sub quadrupled when she teamed up with Crystalline and Chrissy. Yeah, because the common theme, and that's the other thing I wanted to say, when it comes onto this divestment, the undercurrent is hate for black men. That's it. The only thing that unites all those women is contempt for black men. But once you start getting into the nitty-gritty of their doctrine, they just can't work together because it's just too different. George said, it's not your fault. We're not mad at you. We're just warning you not to give support to people who don't deserve it. Yeah. There are better people, more deserving people that you could support with your time, your energy, your likes, and your money than somebody who will laugh at the idea of, you know, ending the life of black males, has no respect for black men. I don't go on the breakdown anymore because I dissed Jessica X and she got the spanner. She'll block me. Maybe she won't. I don't know. Did she block you, or you fear she will block you? She might not block you. I'm sure she's endured bigger and badder than you. If you know about Wise Numian, what are your thoughts on some of his philosophies? I don't know. Shaming tactics, insult, guilt, the need to be right. A woman is happy to work as a teacher, a cleaner, a babysitter, a nanny, a cook. Yeah, I mean, those are feminine type roles, traditionally feminine roles. So a lot of women do feel happier when they're doing those things, but not all. But not if she's only working for one man, even though he is paying her to do it all, and also helping her to do it in most circumstances, and they're her own kids, women in her teens. Yay, feminism. Yeah, I mean, feminism has ruined so many women. It's just ruined them. Them picnic can skank. Yeah. I love that. And the uniforms are so cute. I love it. I love those uniforms. Women in their 20s, pay me all your money, and I hope like you. Women in their 30s, where have all the good men gone? It's true. And then when you're in your 40s, single, lonely, and surrounded by 10 cats. Women in the 50s, I'm strong, independent, I don't need a man to hide. And then being overweight, out of shape, and going back to school. All right, we're at the end now. You don't respect people you see as expendable. And Cynthia G definitely doesn't respect. Yeah, Kristen is attractive. She's definitely attractive for her age. She's definitely got better style with age and everything. But that attitude. Wise says he disagrees. She's very unpleasing on the eye. Well, beauty's in the eye. And with a mind like that, yeah, you don't want her around. Oh, you don't fear that she'll block you. That's good. All right, so I think we're at the end of the video now.
I had to divest from all of those things, you know, because I could still do that with somebody else, can't I? If that mentality is still there. But that's the thing that I think the divestment movement is missing in some of the rhetoric that I've heard, and what I think Black women really need to do, and how we need to think about ourselves and putting ourselves forward and finding the best partners, the best lives, the best existence that we can have, because it's hard for us, right? All right, y'all. Those are my thoughts, and I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I think sometimes we spark little things, and you know, I always get some really crappy comments from Black men on my videos about these kind of topics. I just posted a video about some commentary, but I think it's important for us to think differently.
Okay, so she had to get that last little dig in about black men. Where are the comments? She had to get that last dig in about black men. All right, I had to like my own comment because no one likes it. Screw all of you. Okay. This video, wait. I put my comment in 1 day ago. You're gonna zoom? No? Okay, don't zoom. I don't need you. Okay, I do need you. Oh my god, I'm arguing with the computer. Great point. Life is more than relationships with men. We need to divest from the idea of being strong black women. We need to divest from these stereotypical tropes. When I listen to divestment videos, I often think the same thing. You can find... Oh no. What? You can find something. Why it's not showing the whole thing? Thanks for watching, because the movement needs to be about mental freedom. These dudes can kick rocks. So you see the misandry coming out now. She comes off as very chilled and laid back. She's not as aggressive, talking about, abort black boys. Hi, friend. I'm here watching while drinking my coffee. Thanks for sharing. She loves it. I can drink coffee. Hello, girl. I love this. She got a heart. I completely agree with you. At first, I was turned off by the divestment crowd because what I observed was all about interracial dating being the answer. As time went on, I communicated with more black women that divested from struggle mentality and focused on living well. That I can get with. As a woman, I don't have the luxury to put any group of men on a pedestal because cheaters, abusers exist amongst all men. Focusing on men because I'm speaking as a heterosexual. I believe in living life to the fullest and will not wait until someone dies to do it. Fair enough. So then this comment came in around the same time, but after mine. What a great video, and thank you. Thank you. It's never too... I too never belonged, but unlike you, I held myself back because of the baggage I created for myself, or baggage my mother, my aunties, etc. put on me. But the second I needed them, they would act surprised if I needed help because I'm so independent and successful, whatever that means. So I just stopped asking for help and always gave and gave and gave. Now being 41, listen, I have nothing but myself. I stopped even considering dating as a single mom. So you couldn't find a husband. You had a lot of parasitic women around you, but somehow you found time to have some children. Celibate for 10 years, but you still have some kids. And just career and my kids. What did Wise Nubian just say? You spend your youth running around doing the wrong thing, having these kids, and then you get to your 40s wondering where have all the good men gone. I also stopped helping my family and seeing their reaction. All bitter Bettys. I turn men down and they huff and give me the, you are turning me down? Sick of us black women looking like we're at the bottom of the totem pole for not only by men of all colors, but by each other. More needs to think like you. My solution was to close up, to become a hermit, less people, less drama, just me and my kids. So she will then pass the dysfunctional mentality down to her children, and she won't demonstrate to her kids what a healthy relationship looks like because they've never seen her mother have one. So that's how the cycle gets perpetuated. I think one of the things that saved me is that my mother did awful things when I was young to let me know how little I could trust her. I think we do what we have to in order to protect ourselves and our peace. So I can totally understand cutting people off. The great thing is, as long as we keep living, we can continue to create the life we want, no matter what it looks like. Okay, good. I like that. It was a decent conversation, I guess. At least she was honest. So I said here, most Black women's struggles are created by themselves and the dysfunctional women around them. If more Black women were honest about how older, bitter women sabotage them, the Black community would be a lot better. This comment was before the one we just read. They're both on one day, but that second comment was like 5 hours or so after mine. Okay. So she decides to go in. That's why I was going to leave it. I wasn't going to leave it. I was going to review it. But then, you know, she came with the BS and I was like, okay, whatever. I've heard the same of Black men. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? You've heard what about Black men from where? That Black men are creating the problems Black men have? That Black men's problems are created by Black women? What does that mean? I just assume, okay? I hear you, but we are a product of our upbringing. And so Black women create the men they complain about. That comment is always guaranteed to trigger. Okay, always. And Black men create the women they complain about, as well as the boys who grow to complain. If men lead the community, then they create a community of brokenness. This is a whole straw man argument that you often see women in that sector using. The man is the leader when it's convenient for them to be the leaders. But the question is, if the men are the leaders, who are you choosing to follow? Okay. That's why I'm surprised the video is still up, because I was expecting her to take it down. But maybe she came over here, she realized I'm a Black female, so she left it up. Because you notice she has to put the dig in at the end. I get a lot of comments from Black men. I get a lot of nasty comments from Black men. But guess what? Even if a Black woman criticized her, she wouldn't admit that Black women also called her out on her BS. They don't, because they don't like to admit that Black women criticize what they have to say. Where am I? I don't want to be criticized by Black men. What's this? Pick me. Where are you? We done this one already. I disagree, sister. This is very unpleasant. You don't fear that she will block you? Where am I? Oh, take care, George. Have a good day. Men going their own way is not a movement, but it's a philosophy of awareness. Men won't cower under the unreasonable demands put up by continuing disrespect. Yeah. It's just an ideology. Nothing more than deflections and assertions to avoid having to present a defensible argument to a reasoned response to the fact that he continues to present and the many she enumerated in this vlog. Laughable. So you see the misandry coming out, okay? It's the man's fault that the community is broken, but you have a fear of relationships because the women in your relationships actually made you terrified of Black men. The Western Black community is run by women, and the men they choose to deal with, for whatever reason, they choose to deal with those men. You said yourself that you have to divest from a mentality that was given to you by the words and actions of the older women around you growing up. The problem is not the collective of Black men. It's who Black women choose. You know, she's not going to like that one. Yes, a mentality put men above them and their needs. One often dedicated to uplifting Black men. The choices most people make are based on what is available, in addition to how they are taught to hold tight to patriarchal ideas. The men who have abandoned Black women aren't available to choose from. In addition, struggle love is upheld in many egotistical male mindsets as a standard, and the women are taught by many men that's all that's available. People, mostly Black men, have made careers out of it. Songs are written uplifting it. It's in the social fabric beyond just women. No, you have simp music, and you have music where men are worshipping women and calling them queen and goddess, And then you have women who spend all day crying about the men they're sexually attracted to, and how, you know, I know you're not good for me, but I still want you. And I know you got a girl, but I still want to date you. And, you know, and if it's not love, then that's lust, it's sex. That's what you have. You don't have music where the men are saying, if you love me, you would build with me. That's something that women perpetuate more than men. Now, yes, if you've got an average man and an average woman, you can build, but that's not struggle love. That's called normal. Okay. And then I just said, ma'am, you learned struggle love from the women you watched engaging in it. Stop trying to demonize all black men because the women around you were with low value men. You can't have it both ways. You can't say in one breath if black men are the leaders and then complain about patriarchy. Male leadership is part of patriarchy. So if she responds, she responds. If she doesn't respond, but that's how it went down in the end. Okay. So what I'm saying is this: shout out to George. He was talking about good divestors versus bad divestors. Is there a difference? If the mentality is the problem is always black men, there is no such thing as a good divestor, because all of these women, they believe that ultimately the problem is the man. They never really reflect 100%, not only just on themselves, but also the women who actually perpetuate these cycles of dysfunction. I really appreciate the lady who came through and she laid it very bare on the table, how she had a lot of family around her who were using her. She ended up somehow as a single mother. She doesn't even feel confident to date anymore. She just wants to be kind of cooped up with her kids. And that's unfortunately the sad story for a lot of black women who come from this dysfunction in their childhood, and they have a real fear or a lack of understanding of how to engage in a healthy relationship. Like I said before, I'm not making excuses, but this is what's happening a lot in the black community in the West, where you have parents who are not guiding, or in particular mothers who are not demonstrating how to have healthy functioning relationships. So I really appreciate everybody who came through. Manu 1-2, Kazama Fury, Complex Design, Dane, Wise Nubian, Nu. Who else was in the building? Shout out to Red Pill Awareness, Sir Obadiah. Thank you for sharing the content. Ayil, God bless. I think I saw Rebecca earlier on. Shout out to you if you're still listening. Shout out to Celine. Shout out to Little Big Nate. Again, if you guys have channels and you have not yet dropped them in the comment section or the link, please do so now, or when the stream ends, which is going to be in the next 1 minute. Please make sure that you leave a link to your channel. If you have come this far, well done. Thank you so much for sticking with me on this Pick Me Monday. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Pick one of the hands, hit a hand up or a hand down. What's the other one? Share. And obviously leave a comment in the comment section down below. Everybody have a great week, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.